Today, Big Ben and the Killer Bees take on Rex Ryan and the Buffalo Bills as KDKA TV brings you Steelers preseason football.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome live to Buffalo, New York. Ralph Wilson Stadium, Orchard Park, getting set for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills in preseason game number 4 for the Steelers. Welcome to the broadcast booth. I'm Bob Pompiani, along with C-Batch, Charlie Batch, Jeff Frisella, Missy Matthews on the field, and Mike Tomlin looking for some performance from key guys now. As we mentioned in the pregame show, we got first roster cuts coming up on Tuesday, September the 1st, followed by another one, September the 5th. So a lot of these performances today will go in determining who's on this roster. Ben Roethlisberger will get some work today. How much? We expect at least a quarter and a half, maybe more, but injury concerns certainly take over at this point. And we saw one last week to Bruce Gradkowski, which resulted in the Steelers going out and signing number 2, Michael Vick, who came here with plenty of controversy, but it's a business decision. They needed someone out there for insurance purposes. Charlie, though, in an ideal world, the best case thing is to have Ben Roethlisberger out there every single snap as he did last year, but you definitely need to have insurance policies behind him.
You have to. The Steelers were not comfortable with the experience behind Ben Roethlisberger with Landry Jones, Tyler Murphy. They had to make this move when the injury occurred with Bruce Gradkowski. So now when you see exactly what's going on, it's the last opportunity, last tune-up. So I don't know how much we'll see Ben Roethlisberger today, but let's see if he can get the offense going.
The other big news of the week was Martavis Bryant. Substance abuse policy, the violation of 4-game suspension, marijuana. This is a second-time infraction, and it's going to hurt the Steelers. He's going to be gone for 4 games pending an appeal. You're part of that executive committee for many, many years. What's next for Martavis Bryant, and when will this appeal be heard?
We don't know when the appeal will be heard, but because he started the appeal process, it's the discretion of the team on whether they choose to start the suspension now or they let it play itself out like Le'Veon Bell did last year. Because he played the entire season, the suspension carried into this season. I'd expect to see Martavis Bryant out there as the Steelers let the appeal process happen.
And that's a big blow if they lose him. Of course, came on strong last year with 8 touchdowns after not playing in the first 6 games of the season. Today it's a big game for a lot of players, and you'll see it right here on your home for Steeler football. It's Buffalo, it's Pittsburgh, Rex Ryan, Mike Tomlin. We have it all for you coming up right here on KDKA TV.
Steelers preseason football is brought to you by McDonald's. There's more to love at McDonald's. And by Ford F-Series, the official truck of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Visit your neighborhood Ford store today.
Welcome back, everyone. Bob Pompiani, Charlie Batch in the booth here in Buffalo. And the Steelers, Buffalo Bills. Big game for both, although injuries have certainly taken a toll on a lot of guys. We told you about the Steeler injuries. They have a ton of them here on offense to Buffalo, starting with J.D. McCoy, the man who was brought here in a big trade for Kiko Alonso. Very seldom, Charlie, do you see one-for-one player-for-player transactions in the NFL. We did with that trade. It seems like it's good for both teams.
It is. I mean, anytime you have an opportunity to come out here in the preseason like this, man, this is the last wrap-up, last opportunity for guys to come out here and put on a performance, because September 1st is a date that a lot of players regret. Even though as the teams start shaping up their rosters as players, this is a date that you start to see some of those friendships go out the door because you lose some good friends, and then ultimately when the final cuts happen, that's a tough one because you're trying to shape up the roster, and some people make the 53, some people don't. And here's the last opportunity for some guys.
Now, how funny is this? We got one quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, captain for the Steelers. All 4 quarterbacks are out there for the Buffalo Bills because they don't know who's going to be their captain or their starter.
You have no idea. That's rare. I mean, of course, we're used to seeing Ben Roethlisberger out there as the captain, but I've never seen all 4 quarterbacks go out.
Rex Ryan trying to make a statement. It's still very much available for anyone who performs well. All right, so there you see the toss of the coin. Rex Ryan, first year in Buffalo. Boy, this happened quickly after Doug Marrone just basically walked out, blindsided Buffalo. He was fired in New York. Lo and behold, he's still in New York, only in a different city. 6 years with the Jets. He made the AFC Championship games 2009, 2010, and they are buzzing about Rex here in Buffalo.
And he needed to change the scenery. Down in New York, didn't get him over the hump. He did get him to some AFC Championship games. But up here in Buffalo, the energy, the excitement of the fans that they believe in Rex Ryan, it's going to be exciting to see what they're capable of doing in the AFC East and see if they can get New England a run for their money.
You saw Mike Tomlin. As I said, the newly signed 3-year extension for Mike Tomlin, along with Kevin Colbert. And I want to give a little shout out to he and Kia, his wife. They won the Chuck Cooper Foundation Award this year for community charitable involvement. Do a lot of great work with the Extra Mile Foundation, and I'm very familiar with that. So kudos to the Tomlins for all their work there. And E.J. Manuel will get the start. Pittsburgh, however, will get the ball first today as Buffalo will take the kick in the second half. Dree Archer back there. Always expecting big things for Dree Archer. And you see Jordan Gay, who is their kicker here. He is a kickoff specialist. This is a guy who went to Center College. He went undrafted. Josh Harris, also a big game back for him, number 25. But this is a guy who's got a big leg. And he and Brandon McManus were the only kickoff specialists in the NFL in 2014 because he gets it deep normally, although this is going to be returned by Dree Archer. Archer wing on the right side, knocked down quickly. Steelers are going to start at about the 16-yard line. And here comes Ben Roethlisberger. 6'5", 241 out of Miami, Ohio, now 33 years of age. 3-time Pro Bowler and coming off a year which featured that got him to 39,000 yards for his career. And whenever, Charlie, you get to that 40,000 mark, you're talking about elite quarterbacks.
You're talking Hall of Fame numbers, and Ben Roethlisberger definitely fits in that category.
All right, Martavis Bryant is playing today. The suspension does not affect preseason games. D'Angelo Williams, who will get a lot of work in the first couple of games for the Steelers, certainly without Le'Veon Bell, gets the first handoff, and it went nowhere. We talked about Buffalo's defense, and it is the strong point of their team. There is no question about that. Let's take a look at the 4 lineups for the Steelers. Roethlisberger, Wheaton, Antonio Brown, Beecham, Foster, Wallace, DeCastro, and Gilbert. And Cody Wallace, a lot will be expected from him. Le'Veon Bell, Will Johnson, Heath Miller also as part of that offense for the Steelers. Second down. 10 yards after no gain for D'Angelo Williams. Roethlisberger in the gun. Nowhere to go. He finally fires and he underthrows his intended receiver, Heath Miller. The blocker was collapsing. Brown, number 52, is there defensively on Heath Miller. And now it's time to look at the Ford starting lineup for the Buffalo Bills defensively. As I said, this is a stout group. Mario Williams, Kyle Williams, Corbin Bryant, Jerry Hughes, who's really good since coming over from Indianapolis, Lawson Brown, and Bradham as your linebackers. And in the secondary, you'll see Darby Graham, Aaron Williams, and Stephon Gilmore. 3rd and 10. This is what Buffalo loves. They've produced a lot of turnovers because of pressure in situations like this. Hughes off the edge trying to get the Roethlisberger. He can't, but eventually there is a sack by Corbin Bryant. Now, you might remember this name. He was with the Steelers on their practice squad in 2012. Undrafted, the Steelers eventually let him go, and number 97 gets to Ben Roethlisberger.
You can see 97 here just working, just keep working. You see Ben Roethlisberger had to pick up his feet because he saw him rolling in. This is something that the Steelers liked when he was on the practice squad. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough space. He was let go, ended up making a pretty good career of himself up here in Buffalo.
All right, now the Steelers punt it away. And it's Thigpen who's back deep. He'll take it at his own 39. Hurdles 2 people. He gets out of bounds inside Steeler territory before the Steelers will knock him there. And they're going to have nice field position for the first opportunity for the Bills on offense. And they mark it at the Steeler 43-yard line. So E.J. Manuel and company come into the game.
If you're Coach Tomlin, that's not the start you want from your offense. Going 3 and out, giving Buffalo great field position. But you're giving your defense a short field. That is not something that Coach Tomlin's happy about, and you can see him addressing that with the Steeler offense.
All right, there are a lot of guys who are not in for Buffalo. Who is in is Marquise Goodwin, number 88. He was a guy that has had a very good camp from what we're told. And off straight ahead goes to Fred Jackson, who's missed all the preseason so far, and he has running room to the 30, the 20. Fred Jackson on his way to the end zone, and he gets into the end zone, or does he? He's going to be marked out at the 1-yard line. That's his first carry, and it goes for 42 yards. He's been injured all camp. Charlie, first carry, a biggie.
When you lose your top 4 running back, what better way to show Coach Rex Ryan, I can play this game. He's able to make the cut, get back, and Will Allen stretches out at the last minute. He's able to prevent the tackle right there, but you cannot be happy if you're Coach Butler as a defensive coordinator starting this football game, giving up a big run like this.
Good downfield blocking from Buffalo's point of view. They created the opening, and now the Steelers are faced with stopping this team as they go 1st and goal.
A lot of confusion right there by the defense of the Steelers. They were trying to shift their goal line unit in. They weren't able to get the guys on, and Coach Collin he was forced right there to call a timeout.
Back on that sack, it was Corbin Bryant doing good work against Cody Wallace, interestingly, right off the bat. And again, Cody Wallace is going to be the guy who's expecting a lot of the responsibility now that Marquise Pouncey is out.
He is. And he worked a lot in the game. Marquise Pouncey, he was a guy that started on PUP, missed a couple of those practices, and they felt comfortable with Cody Wallace starting, but unfortunately right there, Bryant got the best of him in that play.
We'll be right back from Buffalo. We're back in Buffalo. Bob Pompiani, Charlie Batch up here in the booth. Buffalo is obviously looking at this and a challenge, thinking that he did not step out of bounds. Charlie, what do you think?
If that's the only angle that they have, I don't think that that's going to be a touchdown or overturn, but right here, initially looking at it, I thought he was in.
So the ruling on the field does stand, which means Buffalo will have it at the 2-yard line with E.J. Manuel at quarterback. They got a big fullback. This is something different. You know, Shady McCoy, when he was with Philadelphia, Chip Kelly didn't use any fullbacks. They got some big ones here, and one of them is Jerome Felton. And he's in there as a lead block. And Shady's not playing, of course, today, but I think he'd be a benefit of that when he does get in there play.
And this is exactly why you need a fullback in goal line situations. See if he's able to isolate right here on an inside linebacker.
So they go with a heavy set, does Buffalo. Felton is the lead blocker for Jackson. 42 yards down to the 2. He gets the ball again over the middle, and he's going to be short of it. It'll be 2nd down for Buffalo. Yeah, Felton's one of those guys. He spent a lot of time blocking for Adrian Peterson. In fact, became a 2012 Pro Bowler with the Vikings, and he got a big contract after that. And they expect he have another guy here, John Cooper, who's they have 2 fullbacks on their roster, and they like to utilize them in the ground and pound Rex Ryan offense.
Please welcome head coach Mike Tomlin.
Now it's Jackson, and he goes up and over and in. They make it pretty simple, 42 yards right off the bat, 1st and goal, and then it's Jackson who completes the drive, and it's a 6-0 Buffalo advantage.
You can see Buffalo coming right out here, establishing the running game. The same isolation play they ran a previous play. Straight over the top. Sean Spence not able to make the collision. Touchdown, Buffalo.
So now it'll be the extra point attempt. Dan Carpenter, who's very good. Lively kicker from Montana. Went undrafted, spent some time with Miami, a Pro Bowler in 2009. He's got a big leg. He has many kicks over 50 yards, one from 60 in Miami. This is your extra point of 33 yards. It's up, it's good, and that'll complete the drive. 7-0 Bills make a statement right after that. They take advantage of good field position and the running of Freddie Jackson. Up by 7, Pittsburgh back on offense when we return. Welcome back to Buffalo, and who is the real Stephen Colbert? Find out when The Late Show with Stephen Colbert premieres Tuesday, September the 8th after KDKA TV News at 11 o'clock. A new era of The Late Show. Dree Archer, Josh Harris, both back, and they will await the kickoff of Jordan Gay. Now it's time for the Nissan Keys to the Game. Charlie Batch, what are the keys presented by Nissan?
You can see right here, get the running game going. They start D'Angelo Williams. He's starting the game this day. Le'Veon Bell won't play probably for another series or two. They want to see D'Angelo work with that first-team offense. Pass defense. I should have said run defense because they gave up a big run on the very first play of the game. But they have to continue to get after the quarterback. And on in third point, I want to see the return game going. Dree Archer had an opportunity in the opening kickoff, but we have to get that element of the game going in order for this team to continue to have some success in being able to change field position.
That kick goes into the end zone, no return, so they get it at the 20 as opposed to the first time they got it. And then a 3-and-out produced the punt, which led to good field position. And then Fred Jackson right off the bat, 42 yards, followed by the 1-yard plunge. All right, the Steelers. Antonio Brown, D'Angelo Williams, Martavis Bryant, and Marcus Wheaton, along with Heath Miller in your skill positions. Roethlisberger in the shotgun, looking to get something going here. They've looked very well, the first team so far in the previous 3 preseason games. Roethlisberger underneath. D'Angelo Williams has it. Gets up to the 25, spins away, and he is going to get first down yardage. Good second and third effort right there by D'Angelo Williams. He did that well when he was in Carolina. That's a gain of 10.
You can see right there, they were trying to fake the receiver screen here, work something down the sideline. Buffalo took that away. He was able to get to his check down. D'Angelo coming from your left side of the screen to the right. This is something that he did very well in Carolina, coming out of the backfield, being able to catch the ball.
First and 10 for the Steelers after the 10-yard gain. Again, it's D'Angelo Williams, this time with a handoff, and he has some running room to the outside. Williams, another first down run. That's a gain of 14 yards, back-to-back double-digit gainers for Williams.
You can see the Steelers pressing the tempo right there in the offset. Just the offset play right here. You'll see on the replay here coming right off the right side there. Nice job by Marcus Gilbert right there of opening up that hole. You can see D'Angelo working to the next level.
Steelers quickening the pace here. Why not? Because that Buffalo Bills defense, when you allow it to get you in second and long, third and long, that's when they pin it back and go after you. This time quick hitter, it goes to Heath Miller, and it's in and out of his hands. You never see that. He hasn't had much action in the preseason. That goes for an incompletion.
It does, and that's surprising. You mean you look at it and say, wow, that's Heath on the drop. Heath is a guy who's probably one of the more reliable players on the team. In the games that he has played, he has caught a consecutive pass in 105 games.
And we expect that to continue this year. As I said, he hasn't been here all that much in the preseason. They're conserving him, obviously. They do not want to. Some of these guys, you know what they got. They don't have to play all that much. And we'll find out how long this first team goes today. Roethlisberger airing it out, looking long for Bryant. There's some contact down there, but nothing. Oh, there is. Ronald Darby was back defensively, and a flag flies. Martavis Bryant got behind him. Roethlisberger looked for it. Flag goes.
He's just working one-on-one on the outside, straight line. You can see the grab, left arm right there, pulling him back. Referee's in good position.
So Ronald Darby out of Florida State, and he was a second-round pick this year. He's had a couple of picks already in this preseason, but right there, Martavis Bryant gets behind him, and the penalty is a big one. So the Steelers now move it to the 21-yard line of Buffalo. Boy, they're going to miss Martavis Bryant with this suspension and the deep threat, although it does open doors for other people. Darius Hayward-Bay, who I don't think is dressed today, and also Sammy Coates. Roethlisberger fires, has his man Marcus Wheaton, and he's hit just shy of the goal line there. Boy, he had a good opportunity to get in, but a nice tackle on the play. That's a gain of 20 yards before he was knocked down on a hard hit.
You can see Wheaton right there just working the middle, right behind the linebacker. He has to find a way of getting in the end zone right there and stretching out.
Stephon Gilmore, one of their starting cornerbacks, was down, and he made the hit, but he took the price. He was a first-round pick back in 2012. Very active back there in the Buffalo secondary. Already, Leotis McKelvin is not playing today. He's the other left cornerback. Stephon Gilmore's the guy they need. Marcus Wheaton with a nice 20-yarder, setting up first and goal when we come back. Steelers Nation Unite, loyalty program where you can join to be officially recognized as a member of the Steeler Nation. Join at SteelerNationUnite.com on the Steeler Nation Unite page of the Steelers mobile app. All right, Charlie, let's take a look at it again.
Wheaton did a nice job of working the middle of the field right there. Has to feel that defender from the left side. You would like him to stretch that ball over for the touchdown.
Heavy package right now, but they're not going to need it. D'Angelo Williams trots his way into the end zone, and the Steelers get on the board. Corey Graham was there, but he wasn't going to catch him. D'Angelo Williams caps the drive. A good response by the first-team offense.
And that's exactly what you want to see by your offense, coming out here, capitalizing with the point right there. And you see D'Angelo Williams here. I know we'll get to the replay, but he does a nice job of seeing the vision, let the blocking, setting up, and he's able to bounce to the outside. You see Nix coming in. able to get him to the outside. Nice run by D'Angelo, but you have to credit the offensive line right there. You can see DeCastro coming right over there, putting his head in the pile as well.
Yeah, they had Will Johnson, Roosevelt Nix, the big guys in there. Put the puppies on the porch. The big dogs want to eat, and they did right there. And now Roethlisberger lining up for 2-point conversion. We expect teams. I think Buffalo takes a timeout. Not sure what you made a good point last week. Well, why not? You know, if you go 50%, you still get, you know, what you need.
Yeah, you still get
compared to extra points.
You still get 14 points. The one thing about it, the 2-point conversion has always been at the same yard line. So you'll start to see more teams because it's not automatic. If you watch the preseason games over the last couple of weeks, there has been a few missed extra point kicks. So teams would take their chances by just going for 2.
All right, now it's time to check out the UPMC injury report. As Mike Tomlin talks things over, Mike Mitchell, we told you he twinked his ankle this week at practice, so he's not playing today. And, boy, you need some time in there with Shamarko Thomas. They had it last week. They need more of it. Stephon Tuitt is out with his ankle that he suffered on an accidental hit by Shamarko Thomas. All right, so Ben Roethlisberger now in the gun, looking for 2. It's currently 7-6. They'd like to make it 8-7. And it's a handoff to D'Angelo Williams, who falls, gets back up, and gets in. He had time, good blocking. He had time, get up and go right in. So D'Angelo Williams scores, and he adds the 2-point conversion.
And you can see D'Angelo Williams slipping on that play, but give credit to Ramon Foster, Kelvin Beecher from that left side, Heath Miller washing everything down, getting their guys, and allows D'Angelo to slip back for the 2-point play. See it again here. Slips right there. You see Ramon Foster keep powering with his legs. Man, anytime you get that opportunity right there, and if they can continue to do that, the Steelers will go for 2 a lot more this year.
Yeah, we told you a couple of weeks ago the Steelers under Mike Tomlin had one of the best percentage, if not the best percentage, going for 2-point conversion. So if you have success like that, we'll see.
We'll see. You think about it. Buffalo went down, scored in 3 plays. They put 7 on the board. Steelers answer with the touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and they're losing this game 8-7. So you better believe the value of that extra point.
Marcus Thigpen, number 11, is back deep. He spent time with a few teams, actually. He's been with about 8 or 9. His moment in the sun was a 75-yard punt return against Green Bay in 2014. So he's capable, and they have him here for Buffalo to do that. Is Garrett Hartley, who's been really good in this camp. There's nothing he hasn't done.
He's been solid since he got here with the unfortunate injury of Sean Sweesom. But Garrett has come in. They wanted to see him push the ball into the end zone on his kickoffs, and he's been able to do that thus far.
All right, Hartley's going to give it a kick. And Thigpen is going to take it about the 6-yard line. Cuts left. Nowhere after that. Jared Sullen was there to make the tackle on special teams, and a good one in the open field at the 20 or 21-yard line.
And I say he presses the ball in the end zone right there, comes up 4 yards short.
Sometimes you don't know if that's ordered by the head coach or Danny Smith. They want to get a look at their special teams in action. You never know how that works, but he's shown me a leg last week. He did anyway, didn't he, Erasure? You had some thoughts about that? He did pretty well last week.
Yeah, I thought he did pretty well last week, and like you said, that could be coach's discretion right there to see if he can get his guys down there to see if they can cover some kicks.
All right, E.J. Manuel. This is a guy who was the number 1 pick. They're hoping he could be that way. Pressure from the outside. Instead, he goes to Marquise Goodwin. Goodwin makes a move. He's being pursued by Bud Dupree, who finally rides him to the ground. But not before a healthy gain for Marquise Goodwin out of Texas. Gain of 16. Now it's time for the Buffalo offense presented by your neighborhood Ford store. Manuel, Andre Davis, Marquise Goodwin. Those are the wide receivers. A lot of injuries here. Cordy Glenn, Richie Incognito. We're going to talk about him. Eric Wood, John Miller, Chantrell Henderson, the big man, at right tackle. Jackson Felton, Charles Clay, who was given a big contract to come here in Buffalo, the tight end. Again, it's Fred Jackson. Not much there. Vince Williams, good to see him back on the field. The linebacker out of Florida State, who's gotten increasingly better, I think, the last 2 years.
Yes, he missed last week with the hamstring injury, but he worked hard to get back on the field. And one player that Buffalo loves, and with the addition, is Richie Incognito. Had some trouble down there in Miami, missed last year, but came in here. I mean, they love the work ethic, and he's changed his attitude. He's been able to get things done up front for Buffalo.
He says he's not a changed person. Don't look for that. But, you know, he is a guy who's had his issues with anger management, bullying, controversy back there in Miami with Jonathan Martin. But he's here. Rex Ryan called him right off the bat, and he was wondering about his future as a player. Flags fly.
It's almost a mixed crowd here. You see some Steeler fans cheering, but then at the same time, you have Buffalo fans upset at E.J. Manuel because he let the play clock go down on first down. And that's something you just can't have, giving up an easy 5 yards like that because you don't know or the awareness of the play clock.
And he wasn't the only one upset. Rex Ryan was pretty upset with that too. Coaches don't like that stuff. Marcus Easley, 81, also in the game, wide receiver. They are very thin in that department right now. Manuel with some time, fires down the field, has his man Clay. It's the tight end. Charles Clay is on his way to a big touchdown. They brought him in and gave him a huge contract. That's 67 yards right down the middle of the field, and Buffalo has regained the lead.
They love his speed, being able to get down the middle of the field. You can see right here on the replay, watch Shamarko Thomas getting back out. Vince Williams not able to get deep enough. Shamarko slips, not able to get back on the play. You can see right there Will Allen coming in late, and he just can't stop him. Easy touchdown Buffalo against the Steeler cover 2 defense.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time with Miami Dolphins. He came here and he has the 4th richest tight end contract behind Graham, Julius Thomas, and Gronk. So they think very highly of Charles Clay, and you see why. What a good throw, by the way, by E.J. Manuel.
It really was. Nice read, understanding exactly where he wanted to go. Shamarko just has to do a better job. When you see a curl route or a stop route, hitch route on the outside, to be able to press, some help to cover in the middle of the field. And unfortunately, the Steelers defense wasn't able to do that, and they could give up their 2nd big play of the game.
Yeah, that's not good to see when you have long plays. 42 yards, now 67 yards, and here is the 2-point conversion. It's Jackson. He's going nowhere. This is well diagnosed by the Steelers, who do not allow it to go in. Shazier was there, as were others. Bud Dupree made the initial hit, and that makes it 13-8. We'll take a break. D'Angelo Williams gets in, but so does Charles Clay. 13-8 Buffalo, first quarter from Orchard Park. Bob Pompiani along with Charlie Batch up here in the booth. Life in Pieces. That's something that's coming your way to CBS Mondays at 8:30. Check it out right here on your home for a Super Bowl 50. Watch for Life in Pieces. By the way, we've had a lot of action here in case you missed it right off the bat. First Steeler drive goes 3 plays for -6 yards, and then they get it and drive it 5 plays, 80 yards. Buffalo's had it twice, 2 big plays. Both of their drives are only 3 plays. One is 3 plays, 43 yards. One is 380, 67 yards, the big completion on the touchdown to Clay. And so far it's been all offense and a lot of breakdowns on defense, Charlie.
And you talked about it coming into this season. They wanted to stop the big play, something that dreaded them last season. But here you are in this game already giving up a 40-plus play run, and then you're giving up a 67-yard touchdown. In order to stop the big plays, you have to prove it on defense. And until you're able to do that, teams will continue to go to the well and expose your defense. And that's not something you want to have right now if you're Coach Butler. He can't be happy sitting there with his starting defense.
And it didn't take long. Mike Tomlin has seen enough from Ben Roethlisberger, and number 2, Michael Vick, makes his Steeler debut here in Buffalo. Right off the bat, he's going to throw the football and look down the sidelines. Martavis Bryant is there, and he makes the reception. Bryant trying to shed his tackler, eventually dragged down at the 17-yard line. Right off the bat, Michael Vick making a statement, and the Steelers are in business again.
And you can see Vick right there off the play action, fake, knowing exactly where he wanted to go. You can see him getting his head right to the right-hand side, putting the play out there for Bryant, getting behind the defender, and man, Bryant makes big plays. Last year when this guy was on the field, Ben Roethlisberger averaged 335 yards a game passing. When Bryant wasn't on the field, he only averaged 265 yards. So this is something that really, the big play capability that Bryant has down the field. What better way to start your Steeler career by a big play by Michael Vick.
63 yards right there on that completion. This time they're going to hand it off, and it's Le'Veon Bell now trying to find some room. There's a holding call, and it looks like anyway, and he is trapped for a loss. That Buffalo defense, a broken play, it looked like it was doomed.
Holding, offense, number 73. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
see the Bills right there chose to decline it because of the negative play. But you can see trying to go off of the left-hand side, nothing there for Bell. He's trying to cut it back. And the speed of the Buffalo defense, that's something that they play to. They want you to cut it back because they believe that they can get to the football.
So far, Plexico. He looks like Plexico burst of them. Martavis Bryant has taken on Ronald Darby, their second-round pick this year, and he got him for an interference call right off the bat. He was holding him back, and now the big 63-yard catch from Michael Vick. Bryant is in the game again, changing directions. Vick rolling, and he still has the legs. Mike Tomlin says he'll go to Roosevelt Nix, who gets short yardage before he's ridden out of bounds by Lawson.
You see right there, it looked like a mix-up by Bryant there. He ran to the inside space. They were two guys in the same place. Nix was right there in the flat. Vick was able to get the football.
So it's now 3rd and long, and this is the way Buffalo likes it defensively. We got some guys who have put up some big sack numbers. Jerry Hughes, Kyle Williams, Marcel Darius, who's looking for a new contract, 2-time Pro Bowler. And of course, you all know about Mario Williams when he's in there. He makes things happen, number 94. Now Vick doesn't like what he sees, and he calls a timeout, which is to be expected. He's only had 2 practices.
That definitely.
All right, let's go downstairs. Jeff Rosella joins us with an observation of what's going on down there. Jeff?
All right, thanks very much, Bob. As you might expect in a game that has featured big play after big play, the Steeler defense, after they came off the field after that last touchdown reception by Charles Clay, not very pleased, most notably upset, and a vocal leader, as you would expect as well, Cameron Hayward, saying, come on, guys, we need to learn from this. Bob?
Well, they do, because right off the bat, Buffalo is taking it to them. Big plays. You hate to see big plays if you're defensive coordinator Butler, man. That's the last thing you want. It's one thing to see a drive, whatever. When you're giving up big chunks that quickly, unacceptable.
Yeah, there's no way you can give up chunks. You have to force an offense to drive the length of the football, especially in this case with E.J. Manuel. He's trying to prove the job. Let's see if he can work it down. But if you're giving big plays, guess what? He doesn't have to do it. But the good part is the Steelers have been able to answer those calls with drives of their own after a Buffalo touchdown.
Right now it's 13-8 in an action-packed first quarter here in Buffalo. You see the passing yards, many of them on big plays. 63 yards was the last one for the Steelers. Vick now, 3rd and 11, operating in the shotgun. Looking into the end zone, trying to get his man, and once again there's going to be a flag on the play, and Darby can't believe it on Martavis Bryant. He's upset with himself or whatever, but man, he's going to get victimized here by Bryant again.
And you can see you'll see the throw down the field, but after the play, you can see the Steeler offense, they are not happy because of the pressure that was applied to Vick right there. You can see the scuffle going on.
Now there's some extracurricular activity going on. Not sure what's going on. There were other flags on the field as well, not just the one that you saw on your screen, so they're going to have to sort this out as they are doing right now.
Pass interference. Defense, number 28. Grab the wide receiver's jersey while the ball is in there. Spot the foul. Automatic. First down.
So that's 3 for 3 for Martavis Bryant, who again will be lost for 4 games because of a suspension. But man, showing you what you're going to miss. Darby now has been called for 2 pass interference penalties, and he's been burned for a big gainer.
You can see, I mean, they want to go down the field with Bryant, but Darby, the Steelers wanted to expose him because even though he tied coming into this game with 2 interceptions, they felt that they were able to expose him in one-on-one situations. 3 for 3 with 3 penalties, even though that play right there won't show up in the stat book, but that was huge by the Steeler offense.
So that came also on a 3rd and 11. Boy, head coaches hate that. But here you go, handoff Le'Veon Bell, following Roosevelt Nix, driving. He's close to the goal line, but it's going to be short. And Le'Veon Bell needs to get his work as well because he will be inactive until the 3rd game of the season against St. Louis.
And they want to get him in here, get his work done. And one thing I like about Le'Veon, his feet are always moving. Initial contact right there, he's still moving, pushing the power forward. And that's what they love on this Steeler offense. It's something he's been able to do since he came into the NFL.
That horn's getting kind of annoying, isn't it? It's pretty loud. All right, 2nd down now for the Steelers, knocking on the door, trying to recapture the lead. Play action to Vick. And he's going to throw it in the end zone, and he alertly throws it out of the end zone but he went to Le'Veon Bell, and nobody bought that fake, and they were all over him. Smart play to get it away.
That's knowing the situation. You didn't want to take a sack there, feels the pressure, couldn't avoid it, just throws the ball away and gets him back down here to the 1-yard line. Nice play by Vic.
And you see Larson, who beat Beecham on the play, to the left side of your screen. And
people may look and say nice play. I say nice play by Vic because that's the only play in that situation.
Absolutely. You don't want to take a sack there, and he knew how to get rid of it. But tell you what, B.J. Larson doing his thing.
And it looks like right now the Steelers are going to have to burn a second timeout because Vic can't get in and out of the huddle.
Yeah, confusion 2 times. And Ben Roethlisberger says, that's all right. You're new. You'll figure it out. But that's why I thought playing time was important for him today.
He has to come in here, understand the verbiage, something that was completely different than the system that he was in New York. So as he's learning the system, they wanted to figure out how comfortable he was. He's looking at his wristbands, but when you look at your wristbands, sometimes if you're not familiar with it, it may come out of your mouth wrong when you're spelling out the play. And unfortunately, you're not able to get out fast enough, and it forces a timeout.
Now let's check the Bordas and Bordas scoreboard. A lot of action on a weekend. It's a beautiful weekend, not only here, back in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Some baseball scores. The Blue Jays. Oh my, are they pumped about the Blue Jays up here? 15-1, they beat the Tigers. They got a hitting machine. Cardinals and Giants are underway, and last night San Francisco helped the Pirates by beating them in the bottom of the 9th on a Kelby Tomlinson walk-off, as the Pirates have now moved 3.5 behind, and they got a big game with the Rockies tonight at PNC Park. Right here, it's a big down for the Steelers on 3rd down after the timeout. Vic now throws it, looking for Bryan. He's undercut as that ball goes by him. Vic was also hit on the play, and the Steelers are going to have to settle for a field goal.
There is a flag on the play. Something happened down here on the left side. I don't know what the collision was, even though we won't see it here in the replay, but Vic was expecting Bryan to continue to run out. He stopped, thought it was zone, but in man-to-man coverage, you have to keep going out.
Mikael Roby undercut him right there, but there's a flag way down to the other side. You're right, Charlie. We'll see what it is.
You can see there's still a scuffle going on. Some words are being said between Buffalo and Pittsburgh right now. I wonder if that happened prior to on that previous scuffle that happened a couple plays ago.
Rex Ryan, here we get the call right now.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 89. High hit on a play away from the play.
Well, you rarely see that. Matt Spaeth gets called for that one. A high hit on a player away from the play.
Yeah, I know the flag came in a little late. I don't know if we'll be able to see it on the replay, but it happened away from the football, and you rarely see that happen away from the call. But the officials thought it was necessary to throw the flag.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 89. High contact on a player away from the play. 15-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
So it would have been 4th down anyway, and instead, Rex Ryan says, let's make him do it again.
Make them do it again, and this is right here. You're playing a game of chess. If you leave it at the 1, the Steelers may go for it. You have to push them back and force them on 3rd down. And one thing Rex Ryan does, new quarterback coming in, he's going to put pressure on the quarterback, and he showed it the past couple plays by blitzing Vic and making him get rid of the football.
Rex Ryan loves to do that. Spent so many years with the Ravens defensive coordinator, won a ring there before he got his opportunity as head coach, and a lot like his father, wouldn't you say?
A lot like him. He loves to bring the pressure, and that's something that they've strived on throughout their life in the NFL.
All right, so it's 3rd down again. The Steelers get another choice. This time it's Dree Archer who gets the flip. He's trying to use his speed to get to the outside, tiptoes to the 10-yard line, and it will set up a 4th down, which will make it a little longer field goal attempt for Garrett Hartley.
You see right now somebody's down on the Buffalo side. Not sure about that number. You see right here, just a quick flip to Dree Archer here. They're just trying to pick up yardage. If you score, that's a bonus. But they're just trying to get in a more comfortable situation for the field goal.
Can't see a number over there, but we do have an injured Buffalo Bill down on his back at this point. We'll take a break and sort it all out when we come back. We're live in Buffalo. Steelers trail 13-8. We're back in Buffalo, New York. I want to remind you, this isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. Aaron Williams, their starting safety, and a man who's had a long career here, signed a $26 million 4-year extension. He has an ankle issue of some sort or a knee, Charlie, but he was down for a while. Now he's up at least.
Yeah, you can see him walking gingerly on that ankle there. He immediately grabbed it away from the play. That's something that you don't want to have. We've seen our fair share of injuries on the Steelers side. You just hope that no one comes out of preseason game with injuries. He's an important part of their defense.
25 ACL injuries already before the season has even started, and a lot of them have been non-contact. We saw Jordy Nelson last week just all of a sudden go down. We saw it with Dallas in a practice, no less,
right,
when their top corner goes down. So these are things that are happening around the league, and you do want to avoid them, but it's almost unavoidable. And the Steelers have certainly felt a lot of pressure when it comes to injuries, starting with Sean Sweesom in that Hall of Fame game.
And there's been a lot of talk, too many preseason meaningless games. But now teams are starting to go to scrimmages. They're trying to get more and more work because they want to see their guys, evaluate them, see how they're able to really take game situations, because that's something that you can't get a lot of times in practice. But unfortunately, injuries are part of it, and we've seen our fair share.
All right, so this will be 4th down. Garrett Hartley on, Brad Wing to hold, and the punter battle is an interesting one here in Pittsburgh. Got two guys from Australia battling it out. 28-yard field goal attempt here. And it's perfect, and that's how Hartley has been so far in this preseason. And the Steelers draw closer.
How rare do you see scores of 13-11, Bob? When you're going for
well, when you got 2-point conversion, 13-11, you may see more of them.
Yeah.
We saw a game that they played earlier against Cleveland. The final score was 11-10. So far, the average gain per play, and boy, this is something the Steelers not going to like. Buffalo, 21.3 points per play. Steelers have had a good one at 7.8, but it pales in comparison. Hey, a program note for you. Billionaire playboy Oliver Queen was missing and presumed dead for 5 years before being discovered alive on a remote island in the Pacific. Returning home to Starling City, he secretly creates the persona of Arrow to fight the ills of society. Arrow returns Wednesday, October the 7th, 8 o'clock, Pittsburgh CW, the home of the Allegheny Health Network. Nightly sports call 7 nights a week. We're always there to take your calls. And boy, it's been a busy week for calls. There's no doubt about that. Marcus Thigpen back deep once again. Garrett Hartley kicking after the 28-yard field goal has made it 13-11. Deficit to 2 for the Steelers, and we're still 5:20 left in the first quarter, so a lot of action, a lot of big plays. And this kick is going to bounce at the 1, and he takes it and takes a knee smartly. And now it looks like Garrett Hartley is injured. He's pulling the back of his hamstring area.
Wow. You see it coming up here on the replay. Just he plants, follows through. Immediately feels it. You can see him grab.
Oh my. Well, you know, at the end of this training camp and on Tuesday specifically, you can see a lot of guys being waived from their rosters, that are going to be kickers available if this is serious. And it doesn't look good right now as John Norberg and Dr. Bradley out there talking to the Steeler kicker, Garrett Hartley.
But now it changes the whole philosophy offensively, because now you might have to go changes the kickoff scenario. Not sure if any of our punters can kick, but you better believe we're probably going to see them at some point today.
All right, we have a new quarterback, and that's Matt Castle. Matt Castle been around for quite some time out of USC, 7th round pick in New England in 05. He was the guy who came in when Tom Brady missed the season, remember, and trying to get it away, slings it out to Clay, who provided the touchdown for Buffalo early on. Matt Castle's a guy who has been around, as I said. Boy, he parlayed that 1 year for playing for Tom Brady into a huge contract with Kansas City, and Todd Haley was there when he was doing his stuff in Kansas City.
He did. He had some nice receivers to work with there in New England. They finished 11-5. Unfortunately, they missed the playoffs, but he got the opportunity in Kansas City for the starting job. That didn't work out. Here he is in Buffalo right now.
Spent some time with Minnesota as well. In fact, started against the Steelers in London a few years ago. Now a little communication issue there as Castle says go to the other side, Mr. Clay, and he does. Goes to Jackson up the middle, and he kind of weaves his way for about 4 yards on that play. Castle is the only known quarterback to start an NFL game without ever starting in college.
4-yard gain of the play. It's 3rd and 5.
but he's made the most of his opportunities. I'll say that.
He has. A lot of people questioning coming out, but given the opportunity, all you can ask for. But when you had put in a situation like he was in New England, he was able to get those guys going when Tom Brady was out with the injury.
Yeah, and at USC, I think he roomed, at least for a little bit, with Troy Polamalu, who said he's a very smart quarterback. And in this offense, you don't want to turn the ball over. That's an advantage he has. But I thought E.J. Manuel looked good in the time in there today. So, again, this quarterback situation will continue. He steps up, he fires underneath. And, again, it goes to one of their tight ends, and it's a good gainer right there. And that one is easily the wide receiver, actually, and he's knocked down by Shamarko Thomas. There is a flag on the play.
I think they're going to call offensive pass interference here.
Pass interference. Offense, number 81. 10-yard penalty. Replay, third down.
That will nullify a 20-yard gain by Easley.
And you'll watch him coming right in. Will Gay knows exactly the route he's going to run. He shields him off from the inside. The thing you can't do, you cannot extend that arm. If you extend the arm, it makes it easy for the referee to call that penalty.
So it'll be 3rd and long now. 15 yards for the Bills and Matt Castle. First series for him as he checks into the game. Pressure up the middle. He gets away. We have a flag and a sack. Cameron Hayward was riding somebody's back down to the ground, and they get Matt Castle. A flag flies. That was also Arthur Moats as they combine on the sack.
Holding. Offense, number 76. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Arthur Moats just working the inside there on the move, able to get back into it. Shared it with Cam Hayward there. Cam Hayward, 7.5 sacks last year. Monster year as a defensive end.
Really was. And back deep, it's Dree Archer to receive the kick from Colton Schmidt. He is their punter here. They have a unique situation where they had 3 kickers on the roster. One of the kickoff specialist, the punter, and then Dan Carpenter. And this is a high hanger, and it goes to Dree Archer. At the 29, he picks it right back up after dropping it, getting to the outside now, and Dree Archer high-stepping to about the 45-yard line. They'll mark it at the 44. So the Steelers go to work. Garrett Hartley continues to be 10-2 on the sideline after it looked like he hurt his hamstring there on the kickoff.
Washington trying to do everything in their power. They want Dree Archer to take this return job away from Antonio Brown. They want to see him utilize more, use his vision as a running back to be able to get up the field. And he hasn't been able to do that throughout his career thus far, but they have to get that going. And if they don't feel comfortable with Dree Archer, they'll go back to knowing what they do best, and that's Antonio Brown back there as a punt returner.
Some say that's risky, but hey, Antonio Brown makes it look easy at times, and he has provided some big kickoff returns, punt returns over the years. We'll see what they do. Roosevelt next, back in, number 45. And the handoff goes to Le'Veon Bell. Actually, that's Josh Harris now, number 25 in there. And Mike Tomlin kind of indirectly called him out this week. Says it's time that he shows what he can do. The clock is ticking.
He missed some time in training camp this year with a shoulder injury, but he has to get going. I really liked him in training camp before the injury, but your 1-2 punch heading into the season when you lose Le'Veon Bell will be D'Angelo Williams and Brown.
C.J. Goodwin also in the game for the Steelers. Bottom of your screen again. The handoff goes to Harris, and he's wrapped up by the claw earlier of one of those big defensive linemen. Man, I'm telling you what, they are big in there, and they make their presence felt. Marcel Darius was one of them.
All right, excuse me, I know I said Brown in the last play, but when you talk about Josh Harris is a speed guy. Last year they weren't comfortable with him heading into the playoff game. He did rip off that big run against the Browns, but they didn't feel comfortable. They ended up bringing it back in off the street to start that Baltimore playoff game. But Harris, if he can get it going, this would be a nice 1-2 combination in the first couple games between him and D'Angelo.
Marcus Wheaton back in the game now. Lines up behind Martavis Bryant. Vick feeling the pressure, rolling to his left, finding on the move. It's Martavis Bryant who gets away from Jerry Hughes. Bryant now down the sidelines, receives a nice block from Wheaton. He's inside the 20. What a nice run after the catch by Martavis Bryant, and a little help from his friend as Marcus Wheaton made a beautiful block downfield.
Nice block by Wheaton down the field. You can see Vick here. Nothing open initially. He's able to skirt to the left, finding his receivers, and that's one thing that the Steelers do. They work their scramble drills, and the receivers do a good job of working themselves open. You'll see Bryant coming here. He sees the scramble, cuts off his route, breaks it back to the middle right there. Vick does a nice job of finding him in the middle of the field, and he's able to get down the field. Look at, we'll see Wheaton coming in here with the block. That's what receivers love. They love working with one another, springing those guys to the next level.
By the way, Stephon Gilmore for Buffalo on that hard hit on Wheaton early on is being looked at as a concussion possibly. That was a big 36-yard gain. Again, it's Vick on the run to Roosevelt Nix, and he gets nice yardage before Manny Lawson pushes him out of bounds. Roosevelt Nix making a good case to be on this roster.
Former nose tackle. He did a good job of transitioning over to the fullback position. The Steelers were patient with him, knowing he had to learn the position, not just blocking, but he had to be multidimensional, slipping out of the backfield. Early on in camp, he was dropping those passes, but right now, catching is starting to come a little bit more natural to him.
Vick is 4 for 5, 106 yards, and Nix, boy, he had a good, one of the most decorated defensive players. Jeremy Wright in Kent State. Now he is. And look at that play right up the bat. Harris goes nowhere. And that's a wonderful play once again by Corbin Bryant, the former Steeler. Colin Rarick was victimized, it looked like there.
Yeah, he has to be able to find Cal, but Cal's one of the best in the NFL. He's able to read that run and slip down and make that play. And that was a nice job by Buffalo there.
All right, another third down now for the Steelers as they operate at the Buffalo 14-yard line. Josh Harris flanks Michael Vick, 3 wides. Here comes the pressure, and he's going to get blindsided right there. Josh Harris did not pick up that potential blitz, and it came, and down goes Vick. Preston Brown was there to make it, but Harris was a little late getting out of there.
Harris has to see the overload on the other side. He was hesitant. Buffalo did a good job of keeping his eyes to the left right there, causing that hesitation. He was not able to make that block to stop the sack there.
We'll take a break. Freddie Jackson got in the end zone first, but so did D'Angelo Williams. Then it was Clay who gets on the board. Steelers have added a field goal. It's 13-11. Buffalo leads after 1.
Steelers preseason football is brought to you by Aquafina for happy bodies and by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports.
Bob Pompiani, Charlie Badge with you. The first quarter ends on a sack of Michael Vick. So now it's 4th down. What do you do, Jeff Frisella? What's the situation down there with Garrett Hartley?
Well, as you see the Steelers lining up to go for it on what would be a 40-yard field goal attempt. Garrett Hartley moving very gingerly when he came to the sidelines to be examined by Dr. Bradley, and Jordan Berry set to take off the kickoff duties. He was warming up for that job last couple of minutes, Bob.
All right, well, they're going to have to figure this out. At this point, they're going to go for it on 4th down. Matt Spaeth back in the game. He was called for unnecessary roughness earlier. Vick, again, a little pressure. He rolls to his right, and he's being pursued, and he stays in bounds. Going to be short of the first down, and Buffalo will take over. That was a long piece of real estate needed to get with that 17 yards.
Long piece of real estate there. And one thing Rex Ryan does, he plays to the weakness of the quarterback. And when you look at where bringing the pressure from Vick's left side, knowing he wants to scramble, if you can force him to roll to the right, it's hard to get, as a left-hand quarterback, it's hard to get those shoulders around and make that throw down the field. And the only play that Vick had at that point as he turned the corner with a step out of bounds.
So the ball is turned over on downs, with Hartley being injured, and as Jeff said, he is gingerly walking around. Don't know the extent of that one, but boy, another injury to the kicker. Castle, second possession. Not much there. James Harrison back in the game, and he stops Sierra Wood, a running back out of Notre Dame. By the way, we've been getting a lot of tweets, you and I, about this horn. I have no idea what this horn is out.
It's unbelievable. I'm glad we had
It's very loud, I can tell you that up here.
If we didn't have these headphones on, Bob, we'd probably have a headache right now.
At CBAT16 is the Twitter, at KD Pomp. Let us know what you think. And I asked someone up here what that's about. We'll find out. But, boy, they blow it an awful lot. And now it's Clay who slips as he reverses his field. Castle zings it. And it looks like it's a good catch along the sidelines by Andre Davis, who caught a touchdown in this preseason. He's getting a lot of work because of injuries. Man, they got Sammy Watkins is out, Robert Woods is out, Percy Harvin is out, Chris Hogan is out. Percy Harvin, interesting pickup by this team. They brought him here knowing he had some character issues in the locker room as well. But, boy, what an unbelievable talent he was. He won a Super Bowl with Seattle after being traded there.
And that guy can flat out play. If you put the ball in his hands, he's capable of going a distance anywhere on the field. And they're going to, if they can add him in that element on the Buffalo offense, I mean, they can turn around and now be more explosive than what they think they're going to be.
That'll help whomever is the quarterback for this team. Up the middle, not much running room there. Good play by the Steelers. Right up the middle, Ryan Shazier on the bottom of that tackle.
You can see the play before, throwing the out route in front of Brandon Boyd because they want to see what he's capable of doing. They made the trade from Philadelphia with him early in training camp. They really like where he is at. They love his speed. Even though size, he's only 5'9", 5'10", but they feel he can play. And here he is as a fourth-year guy in the NFL. This guy can make plays.
Goodwin in motion now, back in the game. And it's a handoff. And once again, it goes to Sierra Wood. Not much running room there, and he falls, actually trying to make a cut, couldn't get it done. Short gain.
You see a nice job by Antoine Blake right there. He's sitting right there. One thing with this Steelers defense as a corner, you have to be able to tackle. They were able to push Flo down and forcing the corner to come in, and Blake was in good position. Running back slips on the play.
They don't have many running backs available either. Boy, this is a lot of injuries on this Buffalo roster, especially offensively. Defensively, not so much, but they are missing some key components here. And a lot of these younger guys are going to get opportunities just because of that. Second down long. Castle in the gun. Looks left, ball tipped up in the air, and it is, would have been picked off by Brandon Boykin. He would have had a touchdown. It was right in his hands, and he dropped it.
Just talked about the awareness, quickness of Boykin right there. That's one is when you get the tip ball right here, you have to be able to make a play. And that's an easy touchdown if he's able to just hold on to it.
There was no one there, and it was Ethan Heemer, big number 79. He's had a pretty good camp out of Wisconsin. He knocked it in the air, a la Brett Kiesel, a la Cam Hayward. Everyone's learning that technique.
And you can see Ethan right there with the reaction because he knew if he was able to hold on to that, that would have been an easy touchdown for the Steeler defense.
So now it's third and long. It's Castle. Steps up in the pocket, fires, has Goodwin, and that's going to be first down yardage before he's knocked down there by Sean Spence and B.W. Webb. It's a gain of 13.
You see Buffalo just playing the sticks right there. They knew it was zone in that situation. Receiver just sat down at the first down marker. B.W. Webb wasn't able to come in and make that play. First down Buffalo.
Once again, Sierra Wood in the game. He was an undrafted member of the Texans in 2013. This is his 5th NFL team, and it's a loaded running back spot, quite frankly, that they added LaShawn McCoy. Up the middle, not much running room there. Short gain here as the clock continues to run. It was an action-packed first quarter. Not much so far in this quarter. 13-11. Buffalo has the lead. Big plays on both sides. We'll recap them at halftime.
Buffalo have been doing a nice job on first down. Unfortunately for the Steelers defense, if you're able to stop them on first down, it causes those third and long situations. They just haven't been able to get in a groove defensively and putting that pressure, or at least stopping the run on early downs.
Castle with Andre Davis in motion. Drops straight back. Looks, fires as one of his big tight end before Sean Spence is there to wrap him up, and that is Matthew Mulligan.
See, just a simple quick out, 3-step drop, timing to his tight end. It's easy 5 yards all day. That's a tough route to stop.
Mulligan's a big guy too, 270 pounds out of the University of Maine. And he has been with a lot of different, but he actually played for Rex Ryan. Rex has brought a lot of guys over here from his days in New York, and he's one of them. Castle again looking down the field. Nice protection, goes to Andre Davis. Boykin comes up and makes a very nice open field tackle right at the shoestrings and knocks him down.
Just zone coverage there. You see Spence in the middle. Shazier's watching the crosser as he passes it off to Boykin. Unfortunately, in third and 2 situation, it's hard to make that play.
So they systematically continue to work down the field here in the second quarter. We still see some starters in the game. Roethlisberger had a couple of series. That was enough. Turn the reins over to Michael Vick. And I'm sure in the second half we'll see Landry Jones once again. This is another one. Oh, what a beautiful play. Ryan Shazier, who's been all over the place in this preseason, and Ricky Seal had nowhere to go as Shazier sealed it all off.
You can see Shazier, they allow him to run underneath the blocks. If he runs underneath, he better make that play. And you can see how big they really think of him. first Steelers linebacker since Kendrell Bell, Jack Lambert to start the season opener. And this is a guy they're really dependent on in this year. If he can stay healthy, this defense can do multiple things.
Boy, Kendrell Bell was one of those guys when he first came on the scene. I thought he was going to be a 15-year player.
Right.
And just didn't work out.
Unfortunately, I think he ended up having a shoulder problem and ultimately let us exit out the league.
Pressure throw by Castle and a nice catch on the sidelines. Hanging on to that one is Marcus Easley. He had to go out and make a nice play, keep both feet in.
Simple quick out there defense. They know the sticks. Softness of the defense is always going to be that quick out. They don't want anything to be allowed behind them. And here you are, manageable third down situation. Let's see if the Steelers can get a good pass rush here against this Bills offense.
As I say, methodical drive. This is the 12th play of it coming up on a third down as they want to continue to move things along. New personnel come in, and now it looks like a timeout for Matt Castle, who doesn't like the communication between the huddle and sideline. 3rd and 4 facing the Bills.
And one thing people have to realize, they're probably looking at the quarterback and they're saying, how come they can't get in and out of the huddle? You have to be able to get the communication, and helmet communication goes off in 15 seconds. That's something people don't realize.
Oh, don't miss Academy Award winner Marcia Gay Harden and an all-star cast in the new drama Code Black. Premieres Wednesday, September 30th, followed by KDKA TV News at 11, home of Super Bowl 50. We have a tweet in from Dante Condelucci at KD Pomp at Charlie Batch 16. Why is the 50-yard line in yellow? Well, because it's Super Bowl 50. It's a big year for the NFL. And that will be, of course, on KDKA and CBS. 3rd down, and now we have a pre-snap penalty right there. False start on Buffalo.
False start. Offense number 48. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
You can see that's something that coaches hate. Pre-snap penalties that has nothing to do with what the defense is doing, and they're jumping off sides before Matt Castle gets into his cadence.
Bronson Hill is in the game. He hasn't had much opportunity out of Eastern Michigan. My alma mater. So I'll tell you that he had 42 career games. He had almost 3,000 yards. Pretty good representative. And there's pressure up the middle. Boy, that's a veteran move by Castle. Gets away from him, but he can't get away from Sean Spence. I thought Bud Dupree might ripe him up, but he stepped up in the pocket, avoided that. However, it will be short of the 1st down.
Nice job by Bud, getting pressure on the outside there. You see him coming on the right side of your screen. Castle steps up, nothing down the field, and the Steeler defense will live with Matt Castle running the football in that situation.
Yeah, it was a good play by Dupree, but you can see the veteran play that Castle shows there. He knew he wasn't going to get a 1st down, but he saved it from being something that would be more than what we're going to see right here, which is a 53-yard field goal attempt by Dan Carpenter. He made 6 from over 50 yards. 58 was his longest here. This one is up, and this one is no good. So he has the leg, but that one was a little off. And it remains 13-12. A long drive by Buffalo ends with no points, and that's always good news if you're Keith Butler. We'll take a break. Pittsburgh back on offense when we return to Orchard Park right after this. Welcome back, everyone. For the most up-to-date information on the Pittsburgh Steelers, visit Steelers.com. Updated daily. The website has the most extensive information on upcoming games and the most comprehensive news. Visit Steelers.com every day for new information regarding your Pittsburgh Steelers. And we have a new quarterback. Michael Vick's work is done. It's Landry Jones who's taken the lion's share of the snaps here as that horn continues to go off.
Right, we have a tweet
so loud here.
Steve Dillon, he says the horn is supposed to pay homage to the train history of Buffalo, but it's very annoying and they should get rid of it. Thanks for that tweet, Steve.
Thanks, Steve, and I agree with what you said, too. Last week you see Landry, 10 of 19, I thought his best performance in the second half with 2 touchdown passes, let his receivers make plays, and that's what they did. Josh Harris goes straight up the middle. Not much running room there. And right now, let's go downstairs to Missy Matthews of Steelers.com talking about Josh Harris. Missy?
Bob, that's right. The 3rd running back position is something to keep an eye on at the rest of this half. And into the second, Coach Mike Tomlin said straight out that this would be a big game for Josh Harris, who is trying to lock up that position. You just saw him on that play. He hasn't had a spectacular first half at all. But we do know that They have also been trying to use Dree Archer and Roosevelt Nix, mixing them in as well. So make sure you pay attention to that third spot and to see what happens the rest of the game. Up to you.
All right, thanks, Missy, very much. It's second down now for Jones, who changes the play. Buffalo still has a first-team defense in there, by and large. And this one, up the middle, not much there. And once again, we got the big guys up front making things happen for them. And third down and long.
You can see right there, they're trying to work just the off that right side of the play there. Good penetration by Buffalo, and it's causing a third and long situation. This is not the start you wanted if you're Landry Jones coming into it, but here's the first opportunity on third down. Let's see if he can convert.
Snap to Jones. Pressure once again. Jerry Hughes trying to get around the outside. He fires, and that one goes to Shackham Phillips. And he makes the reception. He had a couple of drops earlier, but he's been solid. And that's a big gainer of 16 yards, and it moves the sticks.
This is a play right here Landry Jones loves. He loves the big end right here. Phillips is going to come from your left side of the screen. Nice timing on the route. Able to convert right there for the first down.
Now with Martavis Bryant being out, it would open up somebody. You would expect somebody like Darius Hayward-Bay, but some of these younger guys, Sammy Coates, we haven't seen him today, but Phillips has accounted himself very well.
So you know they're going to be patient with Sammy Coates and work him in, but you're expecting Darius Hayward-Bay to be that guy to step up in Bryant's place.
Jones fires down the field and has his man, and there he goes. Martavis Bryant beats his man in coverage, and he gets a 39-yard touchdown, and the Steelers take the lead. Flag is down. May have been afterwards.
Just talked about the big end from the right side. Here it is from the left side. Nice timing. Anytime you get Bryant the ball in space, that typically is a good result.
After the score, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 23 for kicking the football off the field of play. A 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
So that was Aaron Williams, who was out earlier with what looked like an ankle tweak. He's back in the game, and now he kicked the ball, so I guess the ankle's well.
You see the frustration coming in, allowing that touchdown to happen. The one thing you can't do is kick the football out of the play because it's costing you 15 yards on the kickoff.
Steelers again go for two. In case you missed it, Garrett Hartley came up laying on a kickoff, and he is out of the game, and they had to go for it on fourth down earlier. Now Landry Jones trying to add 2 more points on the scoreboard after the big connection to Bryant. He goes to Sammy Coates. He's right there. He puts that head of the defenders, and that is a 2-point conversion. That's the first time we've seen Coates today, and he makes his presence felt. Martavis Bryant, 3 catches, 138 yards.
Bryant is doing some unbelievable things here today. I know it's been a tough week for him, but he wants to come out here and still continue to prove that he's able to deliver, even though the appeal process happened. He's a big playmaker.
Steelers up 6 here in Buffalo. There you see Martavis Bryant. You can call him the Flash because he's been all over the place, man. And after being struck by lightning, CSI investigator Barry Allen awakens from a 9-month coma to discover he's been granted the gift of super speed. Barry takes on the persona of the Flash. It returns for another season, October the 6th, 8 o'clock on Pittsburgh CW. Bryant has been so good, and it's going to be a big loss when he starts to serve that suspension. So Jordan Berry is now kicking off. The penalty makes it almost automatic. He's going to kick it out of the end zone because he kicked it from the 50-yard line. And that means it'll be 1st and 10 for Buffalo at the 20-yard line. Trailing now by 6 points, 19-13. We'll be back to Orchard Park right after this timeout. Welcome back, everyone. 19-13. Bob Pompiani, Charlie Batch up here. Jeff Rosella, Missy Matthews on the field. 5:36 left. New quarterback for Buffalo will be Tyrod Taylor. So Matt Castle gets his work. Taylor, you might remember him. He was a 6th-round pick a few years ago by the Baltimore Ravens, and he won a Super Bowl ring, although he's been the backup to Joe Flacco out of Virginia Tech. He's had a pretty good camp here, too, Charlie. He's one of these guys vying to be the starter.
They really like him up in Buffalo here. Rex Ryan talked a little bit about him this week, and he's been doing some good things. And now here his opportunity as a backup for many years in Baltimore with a chance to show what he can do.
Jarvis Jones trying to get to him, can't. He throws it, and he has a completion there. Marquise Goodwin has it before he is run down at about the 40-yard line, or just shy before he got hammered. He's down now. There was late pursuit there. It's a gain of 19 yards. I don't know if it was Ethan Hemer who came in late, but he landed on him. And Goodwin, and they've had so many injuries this wide receiving core, he got hit hard.
Nice route there, but anytime you cut across the middle, you better be aware of anybody pursuing the football, and right there landed right on him.
And that was Ethan Hemer, the big boy for the Steelers on their defensive line, landed right on his back, it looked like, and he's 6'6", nearly 300 pounds.
And that's one thing Coach Mitchell, defensive line coach here, he presses running to the football because you never know what's going to happen. Not that you want to wish injury on anybody, but that can be a ball, strip ball, hit, anything that can maybe force a turnover in that situation. Nice job by Ethan pursuing the football.
We've had big plays in this game as we take a look at the Bordas and Bordas scoreboard. And remember, KDK TV will have all your scores, highlights, information after the game on the late news on KDK. Blue Jays continue to bash the baseball, beating the Tigers today. Bottom score there, Cardinals and Giants involved in a scoreless game. The Pirates can, if St. Louis loses and they win tonight, pull within 2.5 with 3 big games coming in St. Louis later next week. So things are getting interesting in the Central Division for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And boy, if you just joined us, we've had some huge plays in this game. Michael Vick got in, immediately hits Bryant for 63 yards, and then Jones to Bryant for 39 yards. On the other side, first run from scrimmage by Freddie Jackson goes for 41 yards, and then E.J. Manuel to Charles Clay, 67 yards. All over the place, big plays.
All over the place. Martavis Bryant, 3 catches thus far, 138 yards and 1 touchdown. 63 yards is a big play. But the 2 things that we haven't talked about are the 2 penalties he caused to put the Steelers in good field position in the red zone.
Those are all plays coaches note. They're all positive plays on your side. But yes, 2 pass interference calls against Buffalo. And they were in a situation where, you know, Ronald Darby is a second-round pick. They think he's going to be a really good corner. Bryant basically toyed with him today and got 2 pass interference calls plus a touchdown against him.
He did. Any confidence that you have thinking, okay, yeah, it's easy in this league, as he led tied with the NFL with the 2 interceptions coming into this football game. That's a way to humble a guy. You attack him down the field. Martavis Bryant has been giving him a lot of what it's like to play in the NFL. Humbling, and that's exactly what happened.
Marquise Goodman's still down, and you know, he was a 3rd-round pick back in 2013, a 2-time NCAA champion long jumper. He made the U.S. Olympic team, I think it was 2012. A lot of speed, and you see when he gets some running room, but on that particular play, it is dangerous cutting across the middle, and he did. And Ethan Hemer, to his credit, never stopped. And when you're trying to make a roster, you got to impress coaches, and he did, but he landed on him very awkwardly.
He did. You talked about his track background. Coaching staff, they really started to feel him developing, not just a track star. Typically you would think he's running down the field and just a go route, but he's been doing a nice job on the intermediate routes, and hopefully this injury isn't too serious, but they like where he was at in the position with this receiving corps.
Well, good news that he's up. Hopefully everything's okay. It's a violent game, there's no doubt about it, and there are hits out there. Saw 3 of them last week. Put yourself in vulnerable positions, you never know, but he is walking very, very slowly. I don't know if we have to look at that play again. I don't know if they hit him on, if Hemer hit him on, you know, helmet to helmet accidentally, or was it down? But here it is, Charlie.
You see, right at the last minute, looks like maybe a knee to the head. I don't.
Knee to the ribs or to the spine area, not sure, but hopefully he'll be okay. Good young player for them. All right, so after the big gain that he made, he's out of the game, but the Bills continue to operate now. Taylor up the middle, not much running room. The Steeler defense very resistant. Cam Thomas, number 93, on the bottom of that, stops Ricky Seal out of Stanford.
See, Cam Thomas, this is the guy they're depending on with Tua being out. Okay, we signed you last year. We want to make sure that you can come in here and prove that you can play. Yes, you did it in San Diego, but we need to see you do it here in Pittsburgh. And he's still given his opportunity. And right now, they may need him heading into this season if Tua is out for an extended period of time.
Davis and Easley back into the game. They are on the right side of your screen, actually top of your screen, right side of the formation. Tyrod Taylor, they want to see his arm in action. They know what he can do with his legs. He feels the pressure. He bounces to the outside. Hemer pressuring. He goes instead to Mulligan, and Mulligan picks up pretty good yardage there before he's hit and knocked down by Arthur Moats.
You see Moats didn't coming over making the tackle there, but you see Jarvis Jones getting out there in pass coverage. He needs to be able to see the pass being thrown and break down and make that tackle. He came in wildly, missed the tackle, and allowed to get up the field and gain an extra 2 yards.
Third down and short now. Buffalo, the last time they had the football, went 13 plays but got absolutely nothing out of it. It was a missed 53-yard field goal by Dan Carpenter. Steeler defense would like to get the ball back and give Landry Jones and his offense some good field position if they can. Taylor, here comes the blitz by the safety. It's complete, and it's first down yardage. Nice throw right there, and it goes for a first down. Again, it's easily, and that's a gain of 9 yards.
For Golden on the coverage there, tough to cover for that long. Initially, he did a good job, but as you work with the quarterback, he has to be able to undercut that football and cause a deflection.
So now the Buffalo Bills are in Pittsburgh territory once again. Big Daniel McCullers, number 62, in on that Steeler defensive line, and certainly they're going to miss Stephon Tuitt. Hopefully he'll be okay for the start of the season. Taylor with some time underneath to Hill. He takes a big hit from Shamarko Thomas. Hill stands up, gets out of bounds as Fred Jackson comes and says that a way to do it. 12 yards on the gain, another first down.
Nice job of coverage initially down the field, but they have to be able to find the back as he leaks out of the backfield. You can see that Tyrod Taylor was able to hit Jackson there. Big collision with Shamarko.
Buffalo still has their first team offensive line in there against the Steelers. So it's a good test for those guys to try to deal with these guys in one-on-one battles. Taylor again back. Zings it and has his man there for another first down. And he again drives, this time Brandon Boykin inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line. That's a nice play over there by Marquise Gray, a gain of 19 yards. So they're putting together back-to-back double-digit plays.
You see right there, Boykin just slips on the play, not able to come up and make the tackle. Nice job Taylor here putting the drive together, and you can see how important Rex Ryan thinks his quarterback is, because anytime you bring the third quarterback in, the first team offensive line typically is not in there, but right now they are.
And like I said, it's a good test for the Steelers defensively as there's a penalty on the play. Actually, 2-minute warning. So they have run that clock down. Another long drive by Buffalo. We'll see if it turns into points. They trail by 6. It's 19-13 Pittsburgh here in Buffalo, New York. 2 minutes left in the first half. Bob Pompiani, Charlie Batch watching the Steelers, who trailed early, come back. They lead 19-13. Buffalo driving once again as they go into Steeler red zone, trying to turn this into a touchdown under the direction of Tyrod Taylor. And join us at halftime for the Xfinity Halftime Report, Art Rooney II. We'll talk about the decision to bring in Michael Vick, who, by the way, today was 4 for 5 for 106 yards in his Steeler debut. Taylor now in the shotgun, flanked by Sierra Wood, number 49. Here comes the pressure by the Steelers. Moats on the right side. He zings it on, has his man before Antoine Blake is there to knock him out of bounds. And that's Desmond Lewis, a 7th-round pick this year. Gain of 5.
You can see Tyrod Taylor standing against the blitz, able to make that out route throw under pressure. When you look at the Steelers defense, that was a key to the game. I wanted to see how they were going to perform. Right now, Buffalo quarterbacks were combined 14 and 15 in this game thus far.
And that's not good for no matter who you're playing against. You got to come up with better numbers. Inside handoff goes to Wood. He's trying to get through inside the 5, and he's down to the 4-yard line before the Steelers finally get him down. It's going to be very close to first down and may be very well first and goal.
Just a simple handoff right up the middle. Able to gain 2 yards for the first down and sets them up first and goal situation here for the Bills.
Steelers have Joe Kruger in the game now. He is the brother of Paul Kruger. Remember that name from Baltimore and Cleveland. Bills trail by 6. They could tie it with a play here. Tyrod Taylor in the end zone. Well covered is Lewis, this time by Antoine Blake, who's had a very strong camp, I think.
He really has. Up until that point of the Boykins trade, they thought he was going to come in here, be the third corner. He did some nice things last year. See him in good position right there to make that play. But that gives you 4 solid corners. And when you look at the Steelers secondary, the one question mark is if Cortez Allen can come back and play like we think he's capable of playing, I think that will continue to be a possible strength for their Steeler team. But you just never know right now because they haven't had all of their guys all on the field at the same time.
Second down to goal now for the Bills. This time it's Seal up the middle, driving, turning, and does he get in? Just short is the official mark on the field. Ricky Seal trying to get in. It'll set up third down and goal.
You can see the Steelers here with the bend not break mentality. They're able to hold them off the field. Earlier, they had a goal line situation, wasn't able to come up with a play as Buffalo went over the top. You would anticipate possible same play here in this situation.
They send in the big fullback, Jerome Felton, number 42, the lead blocker here, and it goes right back to Seal. And this time following, Felton gets into the end zone for the 1-yard touchdown. And Buffalo has tied this game 19-19. Dan Carpenter is coming on to attempt the point after.
Just a simple handoff right off the right side there. Same play that they ran earlier in the ball. Defensive line has to do a good job of putting pressure, forcing that pressure. Wasn't able to do it. Buffalo with the easy touchdown right there.
So under Tyrod Taylor, they go 11 plays, 80 yards, 501 score. And that makes it 19 apiece. This to give them the lead, a 33-yard extra point. Carpenter is up. And they make it. So it's 20-19 now with 35 seconds left. Steelers will get the ball back one more time.
See it coming right back at you, right side there. Sean Spence not able to get through that block. You see Buffalo right there off the right-hand side. You see Vince Williams tried to go underneath the block. He needs to stay in his gap, allow Sean Spence to possibly come up there with the collision right there. But being that Vince went inside, he knocked out 2 guys in the same gap.
Steelers do have 1 timeout remaining here in this first half, trailing now by 1. You know, in case you missed it earlier, not here, Garrett Hartley, the kicker, hurt his hamstring to some degree. He hobbled off the field, and he's been walking gingerly. Not sure the extent of that one, but keep your eye on a couple of guys. There's a good battle for kicker in Detroit. Matt Prater is the incumbent, but Kyle Brinza, the kid who's been pushing him. Somebody's going to be released at the, when one of these cutdown days, and the first is Tuesday. If they have a serious injury there or something that will prevent Hartley, they're going to have to look on the wire, and there are some kickers who will be available.
You don't know how long this injury is going to keep him out, but if you're a team with the kicker, you're possibly calling the Steelers and saying, hey, would you like to trade for one and maybe pick up a draft pick? But you better believe a move will be made here. Kevin Colbert probably on the phone right now figuring out what kickers are available.
Jordan Gay, their kickoff specialist. As it go into the end zone, Tree Archer's just going to recover it, take a knee, and they'll be at the 20-yard line. With 35 seconds left, 1 timeout. Those are always, I'm sure GMs around the league are constantly thinking and looking ahead and trying to figure out who might be available. They have reads on everyone.
They do. People knew, okay, maybe if the Steelers are looking for a kicker, not sure how everything was going to come out when they tried kickers out a few weeks ago when Sweeson went down with an injury. But here you are facing the same situation a couple weeks later, needing a kicker 2 weeks away from the season opener.
So now we see Tyler Murphy in the game for the first time. He's wide to the right of Landry Jones along with Martavis Bryant, who's had a monster first half, 3 catches, 138 yards, and a touchdown. Pressure, he steps in there, fires behind Murphy, and that drops incomplete.
See Jones just trying to press the ball down the field, trying to get a big play. That's always, you always want to have something, a drive starter down the field. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that, but the good part was this clock stopped, and no more time is ticking as they place ball for play.
C.J. Goodwin also in the game now as the Steelers try to do something, at least get an opportunity for whom? Who would kick?
Right, you're
Jordan
right.
Berry, Brad Wing, not sure. But they want to move the ball nonetheless. Landry jumps it off, and it's dropped by Josh Harris. And for a guy who was kind of indirectly called out by the coach, that will not help. He missed a blitz earlier, and now this.
Yeah, that will not help. The Steelers have been very good. They led the league last year in 2-minute conversion points. So They are very familiar with this situation. They don't panic, but unfortunately, that's when Ben Roethlisberger is running the show, not Landry Jones. So Landry doesn't have the full arsenal of weapons like Ben Roethlisberger would have throughout the regular season.
All right, so it's third down now. Bryant this time in motion. Inside handoff, they pick the time off the clock. Corbin Bryant here to meet Josh Harris, and that will bring the ball to about the 24-yard line, just shy of the 25. Buffalo says, we want an opportunity. Why not? They got a good kicker who has a big leg. If they get a chance.
Why not? Why? Let's see if we can get a good return. 21 seconds here. If they can set up a good return, put them in position for a field goal. But in that situation, you knew that the Steelers were just going to run the ball. Hopefully Buffalo didn't call a timeout and they can get into the locker room. But right now they're going to put their defense back on the field if they're able to get a return. They're able to stop the return here.
Good to see Ross Ventrone. He's on special teams. Really made a tremendous contribution to them out of Chartiers Valley High School, number 35, back in the lineup. They waited on him. They know his value. Brad Wing is going to kick this away. Marcus Thigpen will take it at the 35-yard line. Thigpen now has running room to the outside. Thigpen in good field position. Wing is there as the last line, and he gets in his way and knocks him down. But that's very nice field position with only 9 seconds left, but it gives them an opportunity.
And that's why you call a timeout if you're Buffalo in that situation. Set up a return, maybe one shot at the end zone, or just enough to get your guy in comfortable field position to take a field goal and add some extra points onto this lead.
41-yard effort by Wing, a 25-yard return, so it's 16 yards in the exchange. Danny Smith will not like those numbers. Taylor looking to zing it out to the outside, and he has his man. Did he have possession, though, is the question. Marcus Easley, they say yes, but he looked like he was juggling it as he went out of bounds. Gain of 8.
You can see James Harrison. He's flashing to the outside here.
He did.
Even though that won't show up in the stat line, that was a big play there. But I'm surprised because I thought he was juggling that football on that catch.
Those 8 yards make this attempt possible. Except they're going to take a look.
Yeah, they're going to take a look at this one. I think this one here is going to be overturned.
So this will be a 52-yarder. Earlier he missed one from 53, but there you go, Charlie.
You see that last bit of juggle right there as his foot starts to come up. See the catch, then here's the juggle. No, I think that's going to be overturned. I was over 2 last week.
You were over 2, but I agreed with what you're saying. That one, though, seems to me, unless he managed to keep tiptoeing down while he pulled in the second time, but I don't think he did, which means that 8 yards will come back, and it'll make it a 60-yard attempt. And as I said, Carpenter, his career long is 60 yards when he played with Miami. And he has the leg to do it, and why not? Other names that are out there, too. Remember, Feely and Alex Henry were guys that brought in to compete with Garrett Hartley at the time when they were looking to audition for the Steeler coaching staff when the injury to Sweesom occurred. So they're still out there as well.
They're still out there. They thought Hartley had a better performance in that kicking competition. Yes, Jay Feely's out there. He is a veteran guy, but you wonder how much he has left as he starts to get up there in age.
So now it's Rex Ryan trying to figure out what he has, but I think regardless, you're going to see a situation where Carpenter will try this thing. How about Rex? He comes here with that bravado. They've sold more season tickets than at any point since the days of the 92 Bills when they were going to Super Bowls 4 years in a row. He had a tattoo when he... It's a funny story. Did you see that? Where he had to go to the tattoo parlor because he has a tattoo of his wife with a Jets uniform on, and he had to go in and immediately change the uniform. So he paid $80. It's now a Buffalo Bill. He said, I ain't changing wives. I've been married for 28 years, but I'm changing the uniform.
He brings that energy, man. Rex is a good coach. At the bad end of a deal out there in New York or with the Jets, but here he is up here in Buffalo. You see the excitement is going. It's going to be interesting to see if this call is overturned. Now it changes philosophy because Buffalo doesn't have any more timeouts.
After reviewing the play, the rule on the field stands. He has completed the catch. Second down.
0 for 3.
Yeah, 0 for 3. I'm sure there's a lot of people at home right now wondering the same thing. How can that be called a catch? But unfortunately, the referee was in good position. He has a better view than what we have, and he called it good in live action.
Mike Tomlin didn't agree with that either. And so it is a 52-yard attempt now for Dan Carpenter. It'll be the final play of the first half. This one is up. It has the length, and it's good. And it ends. That 8 yards made a big difference. So instead of a 1-point deficit, the Steelers trail by 4. Carpenter good from 52. Captivating first half, to say the least. 23-19, a lot of big plays, as we said. We'll talk about them when we return. For the Xfinity extra point, Fred Jackson right off the bat. A big run sets up his own touchdown. D'Angelo Williams countered that. Charles Clay on his way. And then after that, Mark Davis Bryant said, don't forget about me. 3 catches, 138 yards. 23-19 halftime when we come back to Buffalo, New York. Back to Orchard Park, Buffalo, New York, Ralph Wilson Stadium, 23-19. Buffalo has the lead. Let's go downstairs. Jeff Rosella standing by with head coach Mike Tomlin.
All right, thanks very much, Bob. Coach, I want to get your impressions of the first half. First start on the offensive side of the ball. You did some good things moving the ball. Most of it came by the air where the ground game didn't seem to gain any traction.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it's the personality of the defense. You know, Rex and that group, they committed to stop and run. You got to take what they give you some, and we did that.
On the defensive side of the ball, gave up some big plays, and certainly the run to Fred Jackson and the long pass to Charles Clay. Your impressions of the defense?
You know, not how we want to start, but it's not how you start. It's how you put together a body of work. So I'm interested to see how they finish the game.
He's only been here 5 days, but how do you think Mike Vick did?
I thought it was a good start. You know, we didn't want to give too much exposure. We got a lot of work ahead of us with him, obviously, and but it was a good representation of kind of what he's capable of, and we'll kind of go back to work next week.
Finally, game plan the second half with Garrett Hartley out. Inside the scoring zone, can we just expect 2-point conversions and touchdown tries?
Get your camera ready. You know, that's sometimes the challenges of professional football, and it's something that we enjoy. I'm interested in seeing how the guys respond to the adversity.
All right, thanks very much, Coach.
Thanks.
Bob, back up to you.
All right, JV, thanks very much. And now it's time to take a look at the DraftKings first half stats. This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. And what you should know, Charlie, out of that combined, Buffalo quarterbacks 15 for 17, 198, and a touchdown.
Yes, they did. You can see all the good things that the Buffalo Bills were doing. But offensively, for the Steelers, 2 for 6 on third down. They were only 1 for 3 in the red zone, and that's why you see the difference here in the ballgame, 23-19.
All right, Jordan Berry, number 4, also from Melbourne, Australia, battling Brad Wing from Melbourne. And instead, the kickoff goes to Austin Willis. And Willis trying to get some yardage to the right side of the special teams formation. Gets out to the 21. And he'll be stopped there. That's where Buffalo goes to work, and they bring their first-team offensive line back onto the field here in the third quarter.
They want to see them work, and that offensive line for Buffalo, they did a nice job in the first half there, protecting the quarterback, doing some nice thing offensively. And, I mean, this is something that they really felt good about offensively. They want to make sure that this offense complements that defense, because defensively last year, Buffalo was very talented, and they just need to complement and give those guys a rest if the offense is able to put some drive together.
All right, they have a new fullback in there, John Connor, the man they call the Terminator. He played with the Jets. Rex loves him, brought him in here. It's a handoff to Hill across the 25-26. Terrence Garvin was there to make that stop.
You can see Garvin coming in. He made plays last year mainly on the special teams, but here he is trying to make his position and say, listen, I want to roll in here to the defensive rotation too, and I'm able to go in here if you need me, if my number is called. So you can expect Garvin to go out here and continue to make plays here in the second half.
That big offensive line for Buffalo. Again, 64, Richie Incognito. Rex Ryan didn't waste any time, called him immediately when he got the job and said, you want to be here or not? And this is Hill, makes a nice move there before Jordan Dangerfield comes up from his safety spot to knock him down at the 38-yard line. That's a gain of 13 yards.
He had Jarvis Jones sitting right there to running right at him. He sees the play, initiates contacts, tries to avoid. If he can find out a little bit sooner, he'll be able to make that play, and that's just anticipating, and that will come with more playing time.
Bronson Hill out of Eastern Michigan lines up behind Connor, the fullback. Tyrod Taylor pitches it to him. Following his blocking, gets some hard yard and a half, and that's about it. But the Steelers were there to knock it down, and it is Alden Darby who came up from his spot to make that play.
Darby has had a nice camp. He's trying to make
Yes, he has.
and prove that, hey, I understand the cuts are coming, but I want to be one of those guys that you could turn around and maybe vie for that 5th spot there in the secondary as guys are really rotating in. But either way, he's showed some good things on the special teams. Now he's making plays here defensively.
And he was very optimistic about his chances here. He is looking for the opportunity. Spent time with San Diego. He was undrafted there. Had a little practice squad time, but this is a kid who believes in his abilities. Marcus Easley. Number 81 in motion, sets himself. Taylor. He goes to Easley over the middle. That'll be short of the first down by a couple of yards. Sean Spencer and Terrence Garvin combine on that tackle.
See, nice job of Tyrod Taylor there going through his reads. He wanted to work the right side of the field. You see his eyes right to the right, not there. Comes in the middle, finds his check down.
He spent all that time behind Joe Flacco. He didn't play that much, but it has to, certainly by osmosis, you learn from someone like Flacco.
And he played a lot in the preseason. That's where he got the majority of his time in Buffalo, but here he is running this offense. So he's familiar with the preseason. He just doesn't have a lot of regular season experience.
3rd down and short now. Taylor looks right, throws right, has first down yardage, and it's Easley before Kevin Fogg comes up and makes the tackle, but it'll be good enough for first down yardage. Gain of 8.
You see, one of the things that people talked about with Tyrod Taylor, he's a 6'1" guy. People thought he was too short, but that's an ideal size, average size quarterback, and he's been able to go through his reads, making that throw to the outside, throwing in between the guard and the tackle there.
It appears as if Bud Dupree has a foot injury. He will not return to this game. This is a handoff, Sierra Wood. Jarvis Jones comes in there and misses him originally, but slows him down to the point where he and Anthony Chickalo can combine on that one. And Jarvis Jones had a sack last week.
You can see him coming right off the side there. Tackle not able to get the position, but that's exactly what you want to see from Jarvis Jones. Be disruptive in the run game, allowing the rest of the defense and the flow of the defense to come make that play.
Second and 12 now facing the Bills, who lead 23-19. A lot of big plays. In case you missed it, boy, it was an explosion in the first quarter. And this is another completion underneath the sticks. Fogg there to make that tackle on Easley once again. But, boy, the most impressive person was Martavis Bryant, who's been in the news this week for the wrong reasons. Today he's in the news for the right reasons.
He had a phenomenal first half. Don't know if we'll see him in the second half here yet. That might be the punishment that Coach Tomlin puts out there and says, no, you're going to play into the second half. But he did some really good things there and been really picking up where he left off last year, that big play making ability that he has.
3rd down. 4 yards to go for Buffalo to complete a first down situation. Taylor in the shotgun. Zips it. And he has his man Easley again. And he gets first down yardage, spinning down to the 36-yard line. And we have an update now from Missy Matthews, Steelers.com, on Bud Dupree.
Yeah, Bob, that's right. Bad news on an injury front. He has a right foot injury, so he has been ruled out for the rest of the game. But as you can see, he is down here on the sideline, kind of walking around. He doesn't have any ice on it or anything. So when we find out some more information, we'll bring it to you.
Thank you, Missy. You don't want to see any more injuries, that's for sure. This is so many for the Steelers in this preseason, and another one to Garrett Hartley. Don't know the extent of that one, but we will see. And there's going to be a lot of movement if he is out for any length of time. And this is another first down throw, and it's a good one right there to Marquise Gray. Right on the money. That's a gain of 16 yards from Tyrod Taylor.
You can see Tyrod Taylor here, left side. He's trying to work the slant and go. Taken away there, works his way back to the middle of the field. That's going through your second and third progression.
Number 89, Chris Gregg, comes into the game for Buffalo. His first pro touchdown took place against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He only has 2 of them. He was a 7th-round pick a couple of years ago here. But he now in the game for Buffalo at tight end. Again, Taylor. Chickalo, push to the outside. Taylor, this is what he can do best. He runs to the 10, the 5. Tyrod Taylor is into the end zone as he gets by Terrence Garvin on his way. That's the thing that he can do that E.J. Manuel can do, not to his level, and certainly Matt Castle cannot do. Buffalo scores again.
You can see it. I mean, Tyrod Taylor, known for his running ability, did it a lot at Virginia Tech, and here he is. Chickalo left that gap open, steps up inside, and that's a tough tackle for Sean Spencer making the open field. Tyrod Taylor will win that matchup every single time.
Well, they had everything covered downfield. It was a good effort by the secondary, but that's where he hurt you. And Spence got there, but he just could not get there. And how about this? Taylor is 12 for 13, 122 yards, and now a 20-yard rushing touchdown. So he has had all three guys have looked pretty good.
They have. He's making a push to saying, hey, Coach Rex, I can play too.
Dan Carpenter, who hit the 52-yarder right before halftime with the extra point. No good. How about that? That's the first time, at least in our games, we've seen an extra point from 33 yards. No good. And he also missed a field goal in the first half as well.
And that play's not automatic. When you talk about two-point conversion, that just look at it, extra points aren't guaranteed.
Welcome back, everyone. You know, this fall, a new look at family, one piece at a time. Don't miss the new comedy, Life in Pieces. It premieres Monday, September 21st, only here on KDKA, your home for Super Bowl 50. And that was a long drive once again, Charlie. 10 plays, 78 yards. They had another one earlier, 11 plays, 80 yards, to go with a 3-play, 80-yard drive, the second possession of the game. So they've scored in a variety of ways.
And it hasn't been all run game. They've been methodically passing the ball down the field. They've been able to put those 11 and 12 play drives together.
All right, Kenzel Doe in the end zone. He's going to try to take this out now. 10-15 outside, cannot get beyond that. And he's down by Kenny Ladlick. So the Steelers will go back on offense after we take a timeout. We're live in Buffalo. Steelers down by 10. Welcome back, everyone. Bob Pompiani, Charlie Batch here in the booth. And a reminder, Steelers Nation Unite is a loyalty program where you can join to be officially recognized as a member of Steelers Nation. Check it out on Steelers Nation Unite page of the Steelers mobile app. Steeler Nation. Make it official. Join today. All right, so the Steelers go to work here with the first possession of the second half. Kyle Williams, Jerry Hughes, two of their regulars, and they're using a lot of starters into the third quarter here. So these young offensive linemen trying to make the team will get a test, and there's not much running room there. One of them is Alejandro Villanueva, and I don't know about you, Charlie, but I've seen enough to make me think he's on this team. The big guy out of Army who fought in the war in Afghanistan, 3 different tours.
I think he has done enough. They worked him early in training camp on the left side. Now here he is on the right. He wants to be that swing tackle on game days, especially whenever Mike Adams was expected to fill that role. Had a back surgery in July, and he hasn't practiced this point, so you don't know exactly where he's going to fit as this season moves on.
Josh Harris back in the game. He did not have a very good first half. He needs to step it up here in the second half. Roosevelt Nix, the lead blocker. Jones fakes to him. He's really on the move, and he is hit from behind. And that's the blitz. Kenny Ladler out of Vanderbilt came up. I'm sorry, that's number 91. That's Manny Lawson, who had a very impressive first half, and he continued here in the second half.
You can see right here, this is Josh Harris all day. He's supposed to get the end. He misses. And that allows the easy sack. And right there, Landry Jones comes up. A little gimpy there. But Josh Harris has to do a better job of cutting that end down, not allowing the easy sack right there.
And he missed on a blitz pickup in the first half. He had a drop pass as well, and now the Steelers are retreating. It's 3rd down and 21. This is where Buffalo's defense is probably at its best. They're among the league leaders in sacks and takeaways. And in situations like this, when the Steelers don't even try, they just hand it off right ahead to Nix. And he'll get to the 10-yard line, and the Steelers have to punt the ball away. It will be good field position for Buffalo.
Not the start you want to hear to open up the second half. You give up the big sack, pushes you back to the 10-yard line, and it should give Buffalo pretty good field position.
Austin Willis is deep. Jordan Berry punting. Very interesting punting competition between him and Wing. Wing, the incumbent, he's done well this camp, but so has Berry. It's a high hanger there. Willis takes it at 35, now trying to get away from Kevin Fogg, and he cannot do it. Fogg, with authority, brings him down. It's a punt of 55 yards. Not much on the return, thanks to Kevin Fogg.
That's exactly what you're looking for, especially from the young guys as it relates to special teams.
We'll take a break. Steeler defense needs to go to work, down 10 here in Buffalo. Back, everyone. Let's check out the Bordas and Bordas scoreboard once again. And the update there, the St. Louis Cardinals jumped out to a 4-0 lead on the Giants. And if that holds, the Pirates will have to win to continue to maintain 3.5 games behind. But the Cardinals, boy, they are a resilient bunch. I'll tell you, they come up with guys like Piscotty and Randall Grichuk before he got injured. And how about E.J. Manuel's back in the game? Rex Ryan is saying, all right, you guys got to prove it. One-upsmanship. He's back in there, hand up, and that's a good one to Sierra Wood. Wood to the 50. He's in Steeler territory, the 45 before. He is down on that play by B.W. Webb, but a nice run by the kid out of Notre Dame, 22 yards.
That looks exactly like the play that E.J. Manuel opened up with to start the game. Start off to the right, cut back to the left, and you have to be able, somebody missed their gap on the backside. We can't figure that out from the replay because it happened too fast. But there's no way that he should have a hole that big.
So Manuel looked good early in this game. He got the start, engineered a couple of drives, and then Matt Castle looked okay. Tyrod Taylor looked the best, in my opinion. It's a three-headed monster up here in Buffalo, trying to figure out who's going to be number one. This goes underneath to tight end Marquise Gray out of Minnesota, and he stopped short of first down yardage.
You talked about in the pregame show, Bob, about three quarterbacks maybe not having one, but here's a guy, all three guys have done their job, making the decision tough for Coach Rex Ryan. That's why he's putting E.J. Manuel back out here, because if he had to answer the question right now, who's this starting quarterback, he doesn't have an answer.
I think he likes this too. You know, he's kind of just tested all of them, said, I'm not going to give anyone any anointment. You're going to go out there and play, and we'll find out. And I think it brings out the best. Competition always seems to do that, and these guys know what's at stake here. Manuel drops straight back now. Has time. Lots of time. Goes to the end zone. Has Tobias Palmer. He gets a touchdown. He just came into the game. 37 yards to Tobias Palmer from E.J. Manuel, and just like that, Buffalo is on the board again.
You can see right here, E.J. Manuel going through his read. We talked about Darby earlier in the run game, but here he is. He's in a good position. He just has to locate the football. We would always talk about as quarterbacks, if you can get the safety's back turned, we will throw it up for you as a receiver to make that play. And right there, that was a classic example by E.J. Manuel throwing up safety's back turn, allowing his receiver to make a play.
Yeah, for as good as Alden Darby has been in this camp, those are kind of plays that you can't allow, especially in tight situations. And that was one-on-one coverage. He came over there and just, you're right, Charlie couldn't find the ball. Here's Carpenter, who missed his last PAT. We'll see what happens this time, as it's 35-19 now. This one is up, and this one is good. 36-19. Suddenly, Buffalo is pulling away here. Manuel, 3 plays, 64 yards. His first series was 3 plays, 43 yards. Buffalo now extending their lead after the Palmer score in Buffalo. Who is the real Stephen Colbert? Well, you can find out firsthand when The Late Show starts with Stephen Colbert. It premieres September the 8th after KDK TV News at 11 o'clock. Mark it down. Should be very interesting as David Letterman passes the torch to Stephen Colbert. Kenzel Doe is back deep along with Sammy Coates. Steelers trying to get something going here to get back into this game. Now suddenly it's 17-point deficit, and it's Coach or Denzel. He is down at the 15-yard line. Not much blocking on that special teams play there, Charlie.
Yeah, and people will probably question at home, why is he bringing it out from that far down, back in the end zone? The reason why he's bringing it out is because he's trying to prove that he can make this team. Cuts happen on September 1st. This is the only way he has a chance to make the team, so he's trying to show some type of explosiveness if he can turn around and make a play in a return game.
Kenzel Doe, number 82. Landry Jones back in under center, now in a shotgun position here as the Steelers have it at their own 15-yard line. Hand off to Tree Archer. Archer trying to make some yards into a pile of humanity there, not available as the Bills shut that down.
You can see one thing with Tree Archer, he's trying to prove that he wants to be the backup whenever Le'Veon Bell's suspension is happening. You already know D'Angelo Williams there. Josh Harris, Coach Tomlin challenged him. They want to see more of him. But here's Tree Archer right now with his opportunity to prove, hey, when everything goes down, I can be your guy to count on.
We saw number 75 check into the game. That is the controversial I.K. Enemkpali. You might remember him from the guy who was with the Jets not too long ago, and he sucker punched Geno Smith in the locker room over a $600 plane bill. He was immediately released by New York, and guess who picked him up, swooped in? It was Rex Ryan, who drafted him last year.
Rex Ryan liked this guy as a player. immediately brought him in, and he's happy to have him on here. Hopefully it's not too serious.
Injured Buffalo Bill is Stephen Charles. He was a Canadian Football League player, second-round draft pick back in 2013. Rex Ryan likes his potential, brought him over here. He was down for a while, but now he's up. I want to remind you about the 27th annual Gatorade Steelers 5K race, fitness walk and kids kickoff run. It's Sunday, September the 6th at 9 a.m. over at Heinz Field. Proceeds benefit Art Rooney Scholarship Fund. The honorary captains, Brett Kiesel, and the man to my right, Mr. Charlie Batch. So log on to Steelers.com/5K for more information. Steelers go to work now. Landry Jones flings it over to Dree Archer. Gets to the outside and then gets out of bounds to avoid a hit right there. Just get word that the Atlanta Falcons have signed Julio Jones to a 5-year extension. 5 years, $71 million, $47 guaranteed. Bring that up only because I know Antonio Brown's been, at least his agent, has been chomping at the bit for something, but the Steelers still have this year and 2 more, and I find it highly unlikely they'll do anything.
I agree with you, Bob. I highly doubt that they're going to sign him and rip up the remaining years that he has on the deal. So you better believe Antonio is going to be paying attention to what Julio Jones got. Unfortunately, he can't turn around and go to the table again for a couple more years.
But one thing the Steelers did is they gave him a lot of money before his rookie contract expired, and that was money that he would not have gotten. It's batted up in the air. Landry Jones's pass. It looked like Carrington was one of the guys to get his ball up there, but it goes as an incompletion.
And that's tough. 3rd and 2 situation here. They end up running a max protection. You would like to see the back slip out of the backfield, but he's in protection, so it didn't leave Landry Jones with many options down the field to throw the football. And unfortunately, the ball got batted.
And it was Alex Kerrigan, who was a 3rd-round pick here in Buffalo 5 years ago. He's been hanging around, and now a penalty flag flies. We have illegal motion. False start on the Steelers.
Offense, number 81, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
And that would be Jesse James.
One thing you don't want to see happen here. Yeah, the scoreboard is out of control right now, 36-19. But as a young guy, you don't want to start having foolish penalties to give Coach Tomlin a reason to be upset more than what he already is.
So they fly again. And I think we have the same thing.
False start. Offense, number 24, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
You can see, I mean, just look at Coach Tomlin's body language. His hands is on his hips, and he is not happy right now.
Well, they just moved 10 yards back. You talk about field position in a critical time. Not that this game is, but that's the stuff you cannot have. Barry now delivers a nice booming punt that drives Willis all the way back to his 18-yard line. Willis now to the sidelines, and he gets pummeled right over there. Terrence, that was Jordan Dangerfield who comes away with a football. That was a 66-yard kick by Jordan Berry in Dangerfield. You want respect? That's how you get respect.
And you're trying to make a play and make it your point on this special team. This is exactly from a coverage standpoint what you want. On the sideline, comes in and delivers a blow that is felt throughout the stadium. Unfortunately, the ball did come out. Unfortunately, it was out of bounds.
Wow. Jordan Dangerfield back here for the 2nd time. Special team coaches love those hits. Anybody loves those hits, especially when the ball came loose. Unfortunately, he was right out of bounds. And it looked like Willis. Was it Willis who's down? I can't see from here. We don't have a clear view.
Yeah, he stumbled getting up, but you can see after this hit, yeah, of course, he would be shaken up after that hit.
Well, that 66-yard punt.
You can see right here, he's trying to dance, stay in bounds, but you know, in that situation, most returners, they typically run out of bounds so they don't get hit like that. And with all this momentum stopped, that blow came in by Dangerfield. Nice hit. Beautiful kick. You can hear all 65,000 fans say woo at the same time.
Steeler fans and Buffalo fans, doesn't matter. So far, last 3 possessions for Landry Jones. 3 plays 4 yards, 3 plays -9, and 3 plays -1. So the offense is not, and then you add to it, unfortunately we're seeing a card come out here for Austin Willis. You had those 2 penalties, but that 66-yarder erased that 10-yard deficit you just gave up in penalties. Booming kick by Barry, and hopefully Willis is okay. That's a tough hit to take.
Yeah, they're bringing a stretcher out there for the cart. Hopefully this is just precautionary.
He walked off very similarly to Goodwin, who got hit earlier by Ethan Hemer, trailing the play, and hopefully both those guys are okay, but could very well be concussion related. They'll go through the normal protocol to make sure he's okay. What's the hardest hit you ever took, Charlie? I know you try to avoid them. But
yeah, I mean, the hardest one I had when I was in Detroit, actually, coming from the blind side, Rodney Harrison. I thought he was protected. Fortunately, he wasn't, and he just came through and he really laid one on me. And I felt that one for a couple days after that game. That's when Rodney Harrison with the Chargers. Junior Seau was on that team. Oh man,
you're going back.
So this is a ways back.
E.J. Manuel remains in the game, and he's been very good. Now he started the game, made way to give it up to Matt Castle, and then it was Tyrod Taylor, and now he's back in the game. And I wouldn't be at all surprised to see the other guys before this thing's over. Who knows what Rex Ryan has up his sleeve? Bronson Hill, the ball carrier, not much there as the Steelers stop that play.
We talked about the quarterback battle here, but when you look at Tyrod Taylor, he's 12 of 13 right now, 122 yards. E.J. Manuel is 4 for 4, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns. So between those two, they're making it very tough on Rex Ryan. And that's not to mention Matt Castle, who finished his game 6 of 7 for 38 yards.
Combine it all, it means their quarterbacks have had an enormous amount of success here today at the expense of the Steeler defense. Now a play fake. Manuel looks down the field, has a man open, and he puts it right there on the money. And it's Marquise.
You can see
Gray, that's 27 yards.
EJ feels the pressure. He stands in there and delivers a throw in between 2 guys. A beautiful throw by EJ.
Correction, that was Chris Gregg who came back into the game, number 89. But boy, he got a lot of time there. And he stood up, took a hit. Little hit, but he still took one, and he made the play. So now he's 5 for 5.
When that internal clock goes off in your head, you know you have to get rid of the football. And he was able to do that in that situation.
Now Manuel doesn't like what he sees, and he calls a timeout.
So we just talked about Tyrod Taylor, 12 of 13. He has a 105 rating right now. This is a tough decision for Coach Ryan. I think he pretty much, based off how this flow of the game is gone, I think he is narrowing it down. E.J. Manuel, Tyrod Taylor, I think those would be his 1-2 guys if he had to go into the season right now. It's going to be a tough decision, and that's why these guys are letting it play out on the field.
You might remember last year they brought in Kyle Orton, who was there when E.J. Manuel struggled. And he was here with Doug Marrone as the quarterback, as the coach, and he played 12 games, and he did a pretty good job. But then he decided to retire, so they needed a veteran. They went out and got Matt Castle. Once again, Bronson Hill up the middle, not much there. Shayon Green, 49 on the bottom of that pile. They also have another quarterback, Matt Sims. He won't, well, maybe he will get in this game. We were told that he wouldn't, but you never know. He was with the Jets also a couple of years ago, so Rex Ryan had him there. He's the younger brother of Phil Sims, or son of Phil Sims, the younger brother of Chris Sims.
He's itching to get in this game if he can.
He hasn't had much of an opportunity because there is no clarity in their quarterback situation. Second down long for Manuel. Here comes Darby on the blitz, and this time Manuel goes down, and it's Alden Darby comes in and he got burned on the touchdown by Tobias Palmer. This time he gets the sack.
You can see him coming right in from the outside here. Looked like the tight end Gray was going to pick him up in coverage, got a little unsure. Either way, Darby will take the sack.
So that sets up third down and very long. 36-19 your score. A lot of big plays in this game. First quarter especially. Emmanuel steps up in the pocket and he goes to Gray, the tight end. And this time it's Dangerfield along with Vince Williams, whose brother Carlos plays here in Buffalo, was drafted by them. 14-yard gain, but short of first down yardage.
You see 14 yards right there. Interesting situation. Does Buffalo go for it here? It looks like they are. Kicker started to run out. Rex Ryan's like, no, my guys are staying out there.
So you've already missed a field goal and an extra point. You're not going to get in there now. Plus, we have a lead. We need to see more of these guys. So, 4th down and 4. E.J. Manuel fires behind his intended receiver, Grant, in coverage. And that was not a good pass. Probably the first one on this day that he did not put right where he had to.
Yeah, his footwork was all messed up on that particular situation. Had him on the out route. He just left it behind him.
Andre Davis, who had a touchdown last week, looking to make things happen as an undrafted free agent this year. Where you realize, Charlie, how difficult it is to make it in the NFL. Where you see so many talented, all of these guys have really good bios. If you look at their body of work and whatever school they've gone to, it's hard to get in this league, let alone play on a regular basis.
It is. You start the training camp with 90 players, or at least the off season, and you start narrowing that down. And unfortunately, you have built relationships with players. But we all know cut day is coming, and that day is September 1st. You're narrowing it down from 90 to 75 guys.
That'll be Tuesday, and then the following one is Saturday. They have to get down to 53, so a lot of nervous people. And Josh Harris, I should say, goes to the 35-yard line. He may be one of them. I mean, he's on the bubble, clearly.
He's on the bubble, and they're trying to. Coach Tomlin wants these two backs, Josh Harris, Bree Archer, separate yourself. Give me a reason to have a difficult decision, and right now it hasn't played out. You already know who your 1 and 2 are. Le'Veon Bell, D'Angelo Williams. But if you had to ask Coach Tomlin, who's your number 3? He probably shrugs and says, I don't know either. So now here you have in the third quarter, 1 quarter left in this game, but you'll probably see a heavy dose of both of these guys next week as they try to separate themselves against one another.
We'll be back. Steelers down 17 points here in Buffalo.
This preseason football is brought to you by McDonald's. There's more to love at McDonald's. And by Ford F-Series, the official truck of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Visit your neighborhood Ford store today.
And you're looking at the Darwin Martin House, built by Frank Lloyd Wright here in Buffalo, New York. Steelers trying to build something on offense here. They haven't had much in the second half. And they trail by 17. Landry Jones, Jesse James. James gets close to first down yardage there before he's tackled on the play. And how about these yards so far? Buffalo with 447 total yards, approaching 500. The Steelers with 208, and most of that came in the first couple of possessions.
I want to see this Steeler offense go right now. A lot of young guys. You're talking about a bunch of yardage. Eventually, at some point, you're going to have to stop someone. But it's been a nice job of watching both of these offenses go. And let's just see if Landry can continue the momentum here in this fourth quarter, see if he can put some points on the board and see if he can bring this team back.
Doug Legursky, number 56. Spent time here also with Pittsburgh. Got the call this week after the injury. They know what they got with him. He's in the game. Harris now gets first down yardage and a little bit more before he's brought down. Legursky was saying, I'm sitting at home. Got the call, was an easy drive in, as opposed to some call from some other team across the country. Just got in the car and came on down to Steeler headquarters.
I love Doug Legursky, man. He's been a great veteran. I love playing with him and the way he's able to prove center, his value, center, guard. That's why when you have a veteran guy available, guys on this team are very, very comfortable if Doug had to step in and play.
And the Steelers are very comfortable calling him. Here comes IK, and a callie gets to Landry Jones, who flings it out. C.J. Goodwin got his hands on it, but he could not bring it in. And Pauly, who was the guy in New York, released and brought here, he got to Landry Jones just as he was throwing it.
Little underthrown here, but what you would like to see is C.J. Goodwin going up to make this play, but when he goes to plant, he stumbles and not able to get up there because this guy can jump. He has a great vertical. And you'll watch him on his route. Nice job on the out and up. When he goes, he just stumbles just a little bit, not able to get full vertical ability right there.
Clearly the pressure hindered that play because he had a couple of steps on his defender, Duke Williams, and he had to wait for that ball. Here's Harris, ridden down from behind there by Johnson.
And when you wonder how this Martavis Bryant situation is going to play out. Here's C.J. Goodwin, had a nice couple games early in the preseason, had a good job. He did a good job in camp. He made the practice squad last year, making a bunch of plays. Given the opportunity here, let's see if C.J. can put some stuff together, some good hot tape, as Coach Tomlin calls it.
Third down now. The horn has sounded, as you've heard throughout this broadcast. Let's see if the Steelers can toot their own horn here a little bit as Landry Jones is in the shotgun. Here comes pressure up the middle. He delivers, goes to Tyler Murphy, but that is going to be well short of first down yardage.
Tyler Murphy trying to play his way onto the practice squad. There's been a lot of talk on whether or not he can deliver at both the quarterback and the receiver position. Understand coverages, does a nice job on his route. Unfortunately, not enough to pick up the first down here.
Tobias Palmer back deep for Buffalo to receive this punt here by Jordan Berry, whose last effort was a booming 66-yarder. It resulted in an injury to Austin Willis, who was laid out by Jordan Dangerfield. And that's why Tobias Palmer's in the game. Calls for a fair catch, backs off, it goes out of bounds. And it's going to have it at about the 17-yard line is where they mark it, far side of the field. That's a punt of 34 yards with no return. We'll take a break, come back with more. Steelers down by 17 here in Buffalo, New York. Welcome back, everyone. Bob Pompiani, Charlie Batch here, 36-19. Buffalo has the lead and the football.
And you'll see here, look, even the preseason, referees are trying to get in position. Watch the referee at the top. Falls down. They're even in preseason mode, Bob.
Takes some time for everyone to get into game shape, but that game is going to be here pretty soon, September the 10th. Buffalo stayed to the ground with E.J. Manuel remaining in the game, and that's Ricky Seal, who scored earlier in this contest on a 1-yard run. Daniel McCullers on the bottom of that, L.J. Fort.
This is rare. You never seen a starting quarterback start the first quarter and then playing in the fourth. So that's how you know Rex Ryan, he has no idea who his starting quarterback is right now. Maybe this is a sign he wants EJ to go out here and prove and take the job, especially the way that Tyrod Taylor started this game.
Which leads to a predicament in the fourth preseason game for them. As the handoff goes to Seal, once again run down there by Ford, who's been very good since he came over, being released by New England. What do? Normally you don't play your starters. You don't. Now they have a situation where if it's still up in the air, do you play all three again in the Thursday night game coming up?
Yeah, they have to make a decision. I mean, right now Matt Sims is warming up on the sideline, but they really like the way that E.J. Manuel performed in their scrimmage games. They really took an emphasis on the scrimmages, and they said he started to set himself apart, and they wanted to see what he can do, and it translated over into this game today.
Desmond Lewis, bottom of your screen, 7th round pick this year on the field. Manuel dumps it off, and it's Greg, the tight end. He gets out of bounds there. At this point, you'd like to see a turnover, something that this defense could feel good about, because there hasn't been much of that at all.
And you're looking back right now, they're replacing E.J. Manuel by putting Matt Sims into this ball game.
So Matt Sims out of Tennessee, undrafted by Rex a couple of years ago. Had him on the roster, brought him over here. Phil Sims' younger son, Chris Sims, had been in this league for a little bit. Handoff, not much doing there.
You can see Rex Ryan gives him like the basketball sub.
Take a little bow, EJ.
Yeah.
Well, he's played well, there's no doubt. I don't know if that was by design or not, but E.J. Manuel was a #1 pick. They would love to see him take over this job because they invested a lot in him.
It really did, and you mentioned it earlier, Bob. You said they wanted him to take that next step last year. He wasn't able to do that, and he ended up bringing
Kyle Orton
in, and he played 12 games.
Anthony Chickalo trying to get to the quarterback, cannot do it, so the pass goes to Tobias Palmer. He beats Kevin Fogg on the play, and that is a pretty good pickup. By the way, Rex apparently has told some people that he will decide his starting quarterback after this game. So what do you make with Manuel going in again and then coming out to an applause?
I think by putting him in there, I think that Rex may have made his decision. I think he really likes the way that E.J. Manuel performed, especially on that deep throw for the touchdown earlier in the third.
Yeah, very interesting. They're going to rely heavily, though, on LaShawn McCoy, as I said. Nice play there by Shayon Green. Let's go down to the sidelines. Missy Matthews, Steelers.com with number 783, Ramon Foster. Missy?
Thanks, Bob. I'm down here with Ramon Foster. Ramon, thanks for joining me. I know probably offense didn't start out how you guys wanted to, but you picked it up. D'Angelo Williams got in the end zone. 2-point conversion was good. Do you feel good with him being the starter when you know Bell's going to be out those first 2 games?
Absolutely. D'Angelo's a guy that has a lot of experience. You know, he showed it just now in this game. So we're definitely ready to roll with him, and he's going to be a good back for him. We got to keep him clean and bust his runs for him.
Was this a good test against this Bills defense, especially that front 7?
It was. They have one of the better defenses in this league, period. So it was good to get something good going against those guys.
Probably need to give an O-line shout-out to Marquise Pouncey, who's probably watching, but what did you think of Cody Wallace?
Cody did good. You know, he's not Marquise, but, hey, we're not asking him to be Marquise either. So shout out to Marquise. Get back whenever you can, but we're going to roll with that.
Feel good with Cody knowing that you guys had a chance to work with him in training camp when Pouncey started on PUP, and he kind of knows how you guys operate?
Absolutely. That was a good thing. I guess that was something that is going to be shown later. I wish it would have been later, but now Cody's rolling, and we're going to be good.
All right, Ramon, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Best of luck. That's it. Bob, back up to you.
All right, Missy, thanks. There was a 24-yard completion there from Sims to Chris Gregg, and now there's another tight end in the game, number 84, Nick O'Leary. You remember him from Florida State. He was actually available when the Steelers picked this year. They went with Jesse James. O'Leary ends up here in the 6th round, part of that BCS championship game down there, and won the John Mackey Award. And more than anything else, I think he's noted because Jack Nicklaus is his grandfather. Thus the nickname, or the name, Nick O'Leary. Sims swings it out, easily has it. Nice open field tackle there by Grant. Davis, I'm sorry.
You see just a quick little now pass out there. Most quarterbacks do that. You see soft coverage, throw it out to your receiver. That's an easy 5 yards. And in some cases, that's as simple as a run play as well.
Gregg comes back into the game. John Cooper goes out of the game.
You heard Ramon talk about Pouncey, man. I know he's at home watching this, man. Get better, man. We miss watching you out here. I know it's tough for you. Get yourself right.
And an athletic center like him, I mean, he got hurt because he went to the 2nd level blocking on Julius Pepper. Not many centers can do that the way Pouncey does. Completion right there to Tobias Palmer. But, man, he is a special athlete, and they'll keep the door open, keep the light on, as Mike Tomlin likes to say, because he's probably destined for that injury reserve designated to return list like Jarvis Jones was on last year.
And that's when you have the experience of this team, Super Bowl expectations. And when they wait on you like that, that means that's proving the value of what your worth is. Not many players get that opportunity. Rod Woodson was one in the mid-90s. Aaron Smith was the latest in 2010. Both of those teams ended up in the Super Bowl. So if that pattern can repeat itself, we'll see Pouncey at some point during the year.
Sierra Wood trying to get outside, cannot do it. First it was Dangerfield cutting him inside, and then Grant wrapped him up. Under 6 minutes remaining here. Game got off to an explosive start with a lot of big plays on both sides of the football. The star for the Steelers, in case you missed it, was Martavis Bryant, who was facing a 4-game suspension. 3 catches, 138 yards, and a touchdown. This is another long drive by Buffalo. 12 plays. They've already had a 13 play and an 11 play. Their quarterbacks have looked really good, all of them, as the Steeler defense still with some question marks and growing pains to go through. Handoff up the middle, not much there.
You think about it, you just mentioned Martavis Bryant on the monster first half that he's had. Think about his season last year. Martavis had 8 touchdowns as a rookie.
After not playing in the first 6.
Not playing, but think how hard it is as a rookie to score touchdowns. It's been 31 years since Louis Lips scored 9 touchdowns as a rookie. Just to even approach 8, 31 years later, that's how you know how talented Louis Lips was as a rookie.
Louis, you can still hear people looing out there. I know he's watching. Louis and Leah, hello. And this is Sims going for and finding Gregg, the tight end, trying to get into the end zone, and he does. That's Chris Gregg. The big tight end who got his first pro touchdown against the Steelers. He gets another one here today.
You can see Matt going through his reads. No one-on-one coverage on the inside there. Finds his tight end, and you have to do a better job tackling right there by any defender on that Steelers defense.
I think you're spot on with that. Tackling has been an issue, especially today, but you've seen it throughout the course of preseason games. It has to be better than that.
Has to be. There's no way that you can have 5 defenders around there and not one person is able to touch the receiver.
All right, so it's Carpenter now on to try a 33-yard extra point. He missed one already today, and now he's made good on the last couple of them as Buffalo cracks the 40-point total. It's now 43-19 with under 5 minutes remaining. Steelers will try to get something out of their last possession here. There is a flag we'll tell you about here, or we'll keep it here to find out what it is. It looks like it happened after the play here, Charlie. Offensive plays today. Buffalo has cranked out 65 for over 500 yards of offense. The Steelers 40 for 222.
See the referee, the way
he can't hear, just like us.
He's trying to turn on his mic, and unfortunately they're playing music.
Yeah, they just got the music now.
Holding. Defense number 64. The 5-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
All right, so the extra point stands. Buffalo at 43 points now, and the Steelers will get the ball back when we return. Chris Gregg, the latest touchdown maker for Buffalo. They're up big. Welcome back, everyone. Bob Pompiani and Charlie Batch with you. And for the most up-to-the-minute information on the Pittsburgh Steelers, visit Steelers.com. Updated daily, the website has the most extensive information on upcoming games and events. Articles, live interviews, Steelers video. Visit Steelers.com every day for new information. And the information is not good here as, once again, Buffalo goes 83 yards in 7 minutes for a touchdown. A 13-play drive. They've had 2 of those plus an 11-play drive. They have methodically moved down the field when they're not striking quickly. And that kick goes all the way through the goalpost by Jordan Gay, their kickoff specialist. So he converted from long range. We'll be right back to Buffalo. Steelers down big with the ball. Don't miss the play with Rocky Bleier. That's coming up, yes, on Tuesday, September the 15th at Heinz Hall, 7:30 p.m. One show only. The legendary Rocky Bleier will perform a one-man show about his life, so call 800-743-8560 for tickets, heinzhall.org. Gene Collier, outstanding sports columnist for the Post-Gazette, was the man who put it all together, co-author with the Chief, a very successful run with Rob Zellers. And so now this is going to be interesting to see Rocky playing Rocky as Rocky. Jones underneath goes to Jesse James, who tries to make a couple of guys miss. He finally gets a good 5 yards on the play before the tackle is made. Jesse James out of Penn State, and they're getting ready to open up their season. And James Franklin and company, they're excited about what could be a good start. Theoretically, they have a lot of home games around the back. They could be 6-0 before showdown in prime time to Ohio State. Pitt gets ready to go next Saturday at home. Youngstown State comes to town. Narduzzi's done a great job there. James underneath gets wrapped up. West Virginia also with Dana Holgerson and company. Russell Shell from Hopewell is going to be their future back. A lot of good teams. Hopefully the arrow is pointing up, as Mike Tomlin likes to say.
This is always a beautiful weekend next weekend. Football typically starts on Thursday and all the way through Labor Day, man. It's just a great time, and especially as everyone is getting ready for Steelers September the 10th. But if you want to watch football, that is a weekend that you can just lounge on the couch and watch starting probably from noon on.
It's very easy to do that, by the way. You get, there's a lot of compelling stuff going on, so you don't want to move.
Easy to sit there, man. Everybody's talking about their alma maters, who's going to be in the championship, who's going to win conferences. So it's just an exciting time, man, because when you get, especially it's the exciting part about a city, especially when you get Pitt, they're expecting big things from the Panthers this year. So as they start ACC play, I'm excited to watch.
James in motion for Landry Jones. Hasn't had much going on here in the second half. The Steelers have not moved the football at all, and this is behind Sammy Coates. And defensively over there is Mario Butler out of Georgia Tech.
You can see Mario Butler right there. He's reading the body language of Sammy Coates as he runs his routes. He tipped it off at the top of it, and he broke on the route before Sammy was able to break on his route. So nice coverage by the Buffalo defense.
So it's Jordan Berry one more time. Kick the ball. There's nobody back there for Buffalo. They're just going to let it bounce. And boy, what a kick by Berry again. Unfortunately, this one goes into the end zone. Bogg made a good effort. How about a 78-yarder there after a 66-yarder? This punting situation is going to be very interesting with one more game left. Two guys battling out from Melbourne, Australia.
And you mentioned it. You mentioned our kickers in their situation, the battle that may potentially happen there, but our punters are pretty daggone good.
Celebrate football at the Coors Light. Kickoff in Ribfest September 3rd through the 7th at Heinz Field. Admission is free. National Rib Vendors, free concerts, football and fun. The Coors Light and Kickoff Rib Festival, Labor Day weekend at Heinz Field. That should be fun. And Thursday night you'll get a healthy plate in front of you so you can start chomping in. How about chomping into the punting competition? Yeah. Both guys have active legs.
This is tough. I mean, one of these two guys will be on a roster. I expect Brad Wing to make this roster. He averaged 43 yards a kick last year. That was 5th best in Steeler history. But when you look at the roster, somebody is scouring rosters. One of these guys, whoever loses that competition, they will end up on somebody else's roster.
Which is exactly what might happen with the Steelers kicker now that Garrett Hartley left this game with an injury, and if they determine that he can't go, they're going to be scouring other guys. As I said, there's a good battle going on in Detroit right now.
And you wonder, maybe, does that team need a punter? Maybe you swap kickers in a trade. You don't know any scenario this is possible, but at some point we are going to need a new kicker. Somebody's going to need a punter, and maybe you can trade a situation.
Landry Jones, first possession went 4 plays, 57 yards. They got a touchdown. Since then, 18 plays, 13 yards, and 5 punts. So their offense went to sleep in the second half. There's Bronson Hill with the ball as he gets to about the 28-yard line before the Steelers knock him down. Both teams now just want to get out of this game, move on. One more left. Big week of roster cuts, Charlie, all over the place.
You're right. And last week I talked about one of the keys to the game was get a win. We wanted them to get to 1 and 2. Right now they fall to 1 and 3. And one stat that I threw out there last week is the fact that when the last time that the Steelers lost the Hall of Fame game in 1998 to Tampa Bay, they finished that season 7-9. You don't want that trend to happen. You want to get some of these wins in the preseason so you know what it feels like to win in the new year. And this new year is 2015, not 2014.
Sims, a quarterback, will have a 2-minute warning here on a 3rd down and 1, and we'll get that. And we'll find out if they will convert and get into that victory formation. We'll take a break here. Steelers with a lot of questions on defense after today. We'll be right back to Buffalo after this.
Steelers preseason football is brought to you by Aquafina for happy bodies and by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports.
And we're back. 2 minutes remaining in this football game. The Steelers defense has not done much here in the second half. The offense, after a good showing, not much in the second half as well. So it's 43-19 Buffalo now. 2 minutes left. 3rd and 1. And the handoff, which will move the chains. It's first down yardage for Ricky Seal, and the Steelers do have 3 timeouts left, but I would be shocked if they used them.
They're not going to in this situation here. Buffalo will run it probably 2 more times, and then from there, this game should be over.
Coming up shortly, we'll have the Sheets play of the game. And in this case, it's probably going to be plays of the game.
Definitely a lot of offense in this game here.
But you don't like to see bad defense at the expense of all the offense. And I think on both sides you saw some of that today.
Yeah, and it's tough. You sit back defensively, gave up a bunch of plays, something that hindered them last year. And now you want to turn around and correct those mistakes. And here you are in the 3rd preseason game.
With the Sheets play of the game, you knew we were going to take Martavis Bryant. He had a busy day in that first half. 3 catches, 138 yards and a touchdown, some yak yards right there. And of course the news that he would be suspended for 4 games, that really hampers the Steeler offense and a deep threat. Who will step up? And that is the Sheets play of the game. quality. Just got a kick in the beans. It's new Sheets Brothers Coffee. Try a cup today. I will attest. Very good stuff at Sheets. I love all coffee, however. It's good. That's going to do it as Mike Tomlin will go over and shake hands with Rex Ryan. Buffalo trying to do something they haven't done in 15 years, and that's get to the playoffs. And they brought in Rex for a reason. The bravado, not afraid of the controversy that sometimes he provides, but more than that, they want the ground and pound physical aspect of this game to be brought here. Can they improve on 9-7?
Yeah.
We'll find out. More comments when we come back, followed by the Xfinity postgame report. Final today for Buffalo, 43-19, Bills over Steelers.